Wow, we heard all of that crunch. Hi guys, welcome to City States of Klovisa. Semicolon crunch, the God War. How are we doing today?
Feeling pretty
Pretty good,
black
pretty good.
and white today. You know,
Black
just
and
in one.
Jesus Christ!
Same joke, round two, baby.
I don't know if you can say that, Gibby.
Black
Gibby.
and white, you know, one feeling or the
Oh,
other.
yeah.
Yeah.
You can't say
Don't
that.
let the TV taken out of
The
context.
fucking hesitation. Just that, like, quarter of a second. Brood.
Did you?
Brood's in the chat. Remember Brood when he was here?
Gibby.
Man, we have some good energy. This energy is way better than last week's energy. I don't know if it's because I've been drinking or because we're just in a farcical... You know what?
We haven't had a 2
It's a good day. That's what it is. I agree with whatever you said because I didn't hear it.
It's because we didn't have a 2-week break for this one.
True. Orion, how are you? Mr. Stoic over there in the bottom. Or...
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm doing fine. Yeah, just I ate some charcuterie
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Drago, how are
for
you?
my lunch.
I'm alright. Trying to not die of laughter or choking on water.
Eric, how are you?
Choked on water. Instructions unclear.
Gimme!
I blame Mike for everything that happens today.
Oof. If only they could see it on your camera, but your fucking filter is destroyed.
Yeah, there we go.
No!
Look at this invisible bottle.
With censorship.
Invisible bottle, censored by Mike himself.
Good job, Mike. And last, but certainly not least, my brother John. How are you, John?
I'm great, John. Let's get sloshed.
We'll see. It's an early night. John's getting back into the swing of things, being Irish. I feel like we have a lot to do tonight, though. So,
All NPCs will have a glass of alcohol with them.
with that being
Even the
said,
children.
who hasn't done the recap in a while? Everyone, say a name.
John.
Eric.
John.
Dungeon Master John.
John, it seems like you, John, must do the recap.
Let's see. What did we do last week? All of our downtime stuff. Trying to remember what everyone did. I know.
That's fine.
You did it. You did the
Yeah.
recap.
Yeah, downtime
Yeah.
stuff is fine.
Well,
That's
Mika
fine.
tried to make friends. Figured out he's the greatest of all time. An Adonis among men. No
Mirth?
friends still.
Yeah, true.
Wait, did I say Mika?
You said
Yeah.
Orion.
Same.
Words.
It's the same guy.
Nav went and became a man of the people. Got hammered. Or didn't get hammered. Went to a sports bar. Made some friends. I think I'm recalling. You did some nice stuff, didn't you?
I terrorized children at the... with
That's what it
snowball
was.
fights.
Nice stuff. Yeah. Beat kids with rock-covered snowballs.
He was wholesome. Like a
Uh,
soldier.
A soldier at war.
Yeah.
Zane, what did you do? I don't recall you doing.
I don't know,
anything,
you tell me.
honestly. I don't know. I don't remember. You were a wizard. Did wizard stuff. Probably nerd shit.
I fucking read Faceless's autobiography.
That's right. You went crazy.
True.
Not wrong.
Gibby.
Gibby!
My
It
boy,
happens
Gibby.
It happens once a week. Once a week, every week.
What did Run do? You ran into some Ozarks. Tried to get into the bath with one. Figured that was a bad idea.
His surgery.
Oh, that's right. That's what all the downtime was.
His
got cut up.
metaphysical concept surgery.
But now we have Lucky Juice.
It sure does
And
happen like that.
And I apologized for being rude and also played with... Take that back. I was nice to the people.
True.
You know what else? You know what else Runt did last week? He
What?
pulled an actual Gibby and fell from a very tall height.
True.
True.
Well,
well known for taking
that was a lovely recap, but what happened on the greater scheme of things, John? Did anything important happen?
Well, the
After.
assassination attempt,
Oh,
the big one.
Yeah?
You know, gotta throw that out
What now?
there.
I thought we weren't talking
Forge of
about that.
Alvin.
Yep, we got denounced. We denounced someone. We got denounced. We're flying off to war. Things are kicking off.
It sure is. Okay. Well then. Gentlemen, before we jump straight into character, because last time we ended off, you got on an airship and started flying away, we need to do the greatest and most favorite thing of all player groups ever, known as auditing our character sheets. So, I have pulled up the armory, and now it's time to go through it and grab shit that we want.
Ooh.
I don't know how much money you
quick
guys
question.
have. Yeah, what's up?
So is the only thing that happened with the surgery that I lost Lucky and it became Liquid Luck, or did I also get something
Did I
activatable?
promise you'd get something activatable?
Those were. I'm not sure if you intended activatable to be Liquid Luck, because you weren't very specific in what you said. You just said that you would take it. You would take it away from me and make the ability activatable. So I'm asking if there was anything else, or if that's it.
That is
Not
quite
because I
literally it.
Created halfling's
Okay.
luck for the lucky feet.
You
That's
have...
because
Yes.
I know you keep track of a lot of stuff, so I wasn't sure if that's just something that you forgot to tell me last time, or if that's literally just it. So
That is literally just it. Gibby, you have
Okay.
sacrificed your natural inclination to immediately do this so that everybody can pay money to do it as well. This is game-changing, and everyone has been looking for ways to spend their money outside of just donating things to the one auction we had last year. And now that we have the greater chemical, we have access to some really crazy chemicals, to say the least, which we can get into in a moment. Okay, so how we did this last time for the raid team is everybody got to pick one magical item from the list, except when it came to, like, the healing potions. I kind of limit... We just don't have that many, but if you had gold, we can pay for more. If you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Stuff like the... Well, I have people who have already taken stuff out. So, like, Thatch, for instance, has a +1 plate mail, and a dead horse now has a +1 half plate in the ground somewhere.
Oof.
So, you know, it is what it is. Okay, so... You guys ready to go through it?
Sure.
I guess so.
Alright,
Let's do
the
it.
first things up for grab is 1 potion of mental acuity. This is like a party item, so if all of you want to just take one, that's fine. Basically, it's magical Adderall. You get advantage on concentration spells for 1 minute. So if you get punched, and it's like a very important thing, and you have this running, you have advantage on your con saves. Ooh, baby. There are 3 potions of climbing. You may take 2, if you wish. If I kind of am hoping you guys just kind of shout out that you want something as we go down the list.
I'll stop you when you say something I want.
Well, of course you don't want the potions of climbing, but hey,
Yeah, I literally have a.
fuckers, hint hint, you might need climb
climbing
speed
is-
in an urban city.
Good.
Fuck it, I'll take one.
Alright, add a potion of climbing to your sheet.
I'll take another one.
There you go, add it to your character
Cool.
sheet.
May we also grab that potion of mental acuity you
You
did?
sure can. Alright, the next thing up for grab is the Golden Scale Mail. It acts as +1 Scale Mail and has anti-crit, as well as unknown properties that have yet to be properly tested. Now you might be thinking, John, Scale Mail's 14 AC, now it's +1, that's 15 AC. That's like regular hat plate. Why would I ever take that over my +1 half plate? Well, you see, getting crit at high levels sucks. When you are hit by a thing that normally deals 5d10 plus strength damage, taking 10d10 plus strength damage sucks. And this will let you not die to that. People don't understand the value of that. If you want it, Nav,
Nobody else is gonna speak up. I think I'm gonna nab that.
Nav, this was found. You will get the story. The failure team stole this from a horde without even finding the boss that was supposed to be guarding. What chumps. Aren't they cool? This was known to be a scion of the Blazing Stars at one point, known as Lothern. So you may add Lothern scale mail to your character sheet. And if you ever...
Lothern the one that was... Lothern was the one that was
Zane's
questionably
putting it
assigned.
together. Uh-oh.
Stinky.
But we
Zane
have
is-
to move on, Zane. I'm sorry, we're not in character yet.
Well,
Lore.
okay. So, what's the AC difference between that and breastplate?
Just drag in a +1 scale mail. Scale mail normally is 14. A +1 scale mail is assumedly 15.
So if I heard the description right of the item, it's just +1 adamantine scale mail.
It has other mysterious properties, but go fuck yourself. I don't know what
Trying to make it
adamantite
cool
is.
here.
Adamantium
is
doesn't
the
exist in this
anti-crit
world.
stuff.
Yeah, what is that? That's some space marine bullshit. Alright, moving on. We have the +1 dagger of mercurial venom.
Ooh.
It sounds awesome, and for Eric the player, as well as Brood the player, I suppose. I'm trying to remember who else might have been there. Maybe it was you, Gibby. But this is a similar item to the liquid mercury dagger that Irithyll has. They found another one just like it.
What's it do?
It acts as a dagger of venom, but it has extra properties against certain enemy types.
I'll take it.
Alright, let me go ahead and start editing the sheet now that two people have said they want things. This is on Nav, this is on Runt.
And
Well,
mercurial venom.
I'm encumbered with the scale mail, so
Get shit on.
You could
Drop
think
shit.
I
you
could
could
lose
remove
it.
your breastplate.
Wait, you've been using a breastplate?
Yeah. When we made the character, we worked it out. I think that was because the magic armor was like the most I could use.
Yeah.
without
Well, you know,
weight restriction or
what is
something.
-10 speed, right? Big deal. Just throw your bag on the ground whenever blah 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 happen. Or are you encumbered with it while naked?
It's 45 and my strength is 12, so I don't know. I don't know
Forgot
math.
scale mail is fucking heavy.
You would not be encumbered wearing only the scale mail. I don't know what else you could carry though.
Oof. Anyway, we have a +1 Morning Star. That's cool. Next up, we have...
Basic bitch +1 morning star.
Yeah, the most
Morning
base.
stars are cool.
Ooh, I need someone to roll me a 1d20.
Ooh, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, use your point and die.
No, use a real die.
Huacha, 11.
Okay.
That was one of my important dies anyways.
Milk toast roll.
Nice.
Average. Completely average.
I need to go look up what... I think you just made another +1 longsword that deals 1d4 radiant damage.
Ooh,
Neato.
That's kinda...
not terrible.
Imagine if any of us could use long swords.
I can. Well,
What else do we got?
Yeah.
Yugu already has Kevin Stone, the anti-surprise Ioun Stone. The Amulet of
Gotta give that
Drunken
back.
Healing.
yeah, I passed that to her. But,
Yeah, I have that back. But yeah,
but the party has it.
Okay, let's go ahead and just put front on the thing then. There's a ring of mind shielding.
Ooh, we might actually want that.
Yeah. I'll take it.
Mind shielding. Go ahead. I believe it is just straight out of a DMG. Ignore the last paragraph. It does. I don't care about that shit.
I don't even remember what the last paragraph is.
It's when you die, your soul gets sucked into something, but that's cringe.
Oh.
We will add that to Zane. Oh, nope. Alright. We can delete the
Now
Book
I
of
can't
Graceful
see
Bullshit. Who has the Cloak of Stealth Advancement?
That is me.
Right,
Hang
how
on,
many
Would make
fucking
sense.
items do you have on your sheet? Are you capped out on attunement items?
Oh, he just ripped
Nice.
off his headphones.
Oh, rip.
Oh, he's
What's
back
up?
on.
Are you capped out on attunement items right now?
I have Kevin,
That's one.
and I have the Cloak of Stealth Advancement,
That's two.
and the only other magical item that I have, technically, that does something that's other than a weapon, is Skeleton Key. So
Well,
and
that
doesn't
one's
work
not
on attunement.
that one
Yeah,
is not
exactly.
attunement, yeah.
So I technically have one more slot that I could have.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. I just gotta keep my horses on their stable, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
We're actually running in low on things. Belagon Kayul is a +1 pike, which does 2d. No, I think that went to Igor.
Oh,
actually.
is that the racist fork?
Yeah, that would have been a great gift to bring to Ugaras, guys.
Hey!
And Arvo
he's
legend
part of
lore
us.
is gone. Okay, well, that looks like is it, actually.
Huh?
Oh, there's +1 silent plate mail if anyone can use heavy armor.
Lamau.
No.
I can, but
Yeah. It's okay. We understand.
Darn. No better spellcasting focus. Oh well.
So just to double check, what are all of the items that our team has on your list, John? Just so we can make sure that we have.
I
them on our
don't
sheet.
have individual items on my armory. My armory
Ah.
sheet is for specifically items that are not on your character sheets. So what magical items do you fuckers have?
I'll go first. I have a magical +1 Ulathayan longsword that is also silvered.
Nice.
I have Kevin the Ioun Stone, which when attuned, you cannot be surprised. I have the Skeleton Key, which does this.
Nice.
I have the Cloak of Stealth Advancement, which does this.
Nice.
I have now the Dagger of Mercurial Venom, and I have the Tailored Made Stealth Suit, which acts as studded leather armor and gives me a +2 to strength.
Cool.
I have the potion of climbing, the potion of mental acuity, and the ring of mind shielding.
Perfect.
I have a +1 dagger, regular +1 dagger, and I have a cloak of manta ray.
You have a cloak of a mana rare.
Plus
Oh,
one
I
dagger,
remember
you have
that one.
magical fist.
Yeah.
He wants to
All
throw
on
it.
the bright side, if we need to do any underwater swimming, we have the cloak of the manta ray.
You can
You-
go and save Beef Swellington.
Yugu! What do you have,
I have
Yugu?
my general's gloves and a +1 longsword.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
also holding on to 4 healing potions. Those are magical, but
But yeah, who cares? Nav? Eric?
sword, and I am gonna take the scale mail, but because I'm taking the scale mail, I have to be basically naked. So who wants my potions?
I will take
I'll
them.
take them.
Slash, we can divide the potions up.
Yes,
However,
flip them.
Yeah.
I have one of the potions of mental acuity.
Give it to him. Give it to the wizard.
Yep.
Yeah.
Potion of climbing. I took one.
Oh,
I have
can
a
just
greater
hold on to
healing
that
potion.
second one.
I could take that one.
Meager should probably get. I still have the Greystone Giant Potion from the beginning of the game.
Nice.
Wow.
The
Hell
what?
yeah.
And I have 2 regular healing potions.
I think you should still hold on to the regular healing potions.
I can't have a bag.
Oh,
I can have nothing besides the armor and my shield.
okay, then I'll take all of your healing potions.
Yugo, take his potion of giant strength, or it can go to Mirth, I guess. One of
Which
you
one
two.
does like do it?
You're gonna whack people more, probably.
Okay, sure. Because I can use strength for my hands if I need to.
True.
His hands.
And it gives
And
you like
John,
20.
Catch these hands, motherfucker!
You're gonna get folded, boy!
Boy.
Can I
There's a
trade out
potion.
my +1 longsword for a +1 radiant longsword?
Yeah.
Probably
The
won't use
smith
it.
currently enslaved. His name is. Fuck! I just closed the armory.
Is it gray giant strength or just giant strength?
It
Gray.
is.
Right,
Greystone
specifically.
Giant.
It's stone giant strength. Yeah.
Okay.
It's colored gray. What's his name? York, the Ulathaean smith who came with Arvo, desperately wants you to find a better smith. Someone, anyone, please help me. I'm tired of working here. My wife misses me. I'm missing out on the golden years of my son.
We'll find someone, maybe. You're the only smith I've ever ran into, so
Fuck.
Maybe we can find someone in Ugarest.
Yeah. He starts to weep.
I'll just back away slowly.
Okay.
A little bit, but I can talk to you.
We can hear you.
He muted himself after.
Okay. This fucking guy. This fucking dude. Unbelievable.
Phone call.
Every session. This fucker.
Yeah,
Alright.
it was me last session.
You fuckers. You too! I'm on to you. Okay. Let's get into character. You guys got on board the Judgment of Longing. Irithyll acting as shipmaster, Corathil acting as captain. You've done this song and dance several times now, except for Zane, who's getting somewhat new to this. Thank you, OneDrive. Why is my computer begging me for updates all of a sudden? I thought I disabled updates.
Not OneDrive.
Bill Gates? Has the divorce hurt you?
Gil Bates.
What an asshole. Anyway, you guys get aboard the Judgment of Longing, and soon we'll set course all the way down to Ugarest in the bottom left corner of the map. It is a several-day journey, and I suppose they're just going to kind of follow the coastline and make a straight shot, or they will make rendezvous with an Ugarestian fleet, and then pass you guys off so that they can go do other things. They also don't want to go to Ugarest, because they're afraid their ship might try to be assailed so they can steal technology or something. Anything you guys want to do before you set off, now is the time to say it.
I just wanted to one time before we leave, or maybe mid-flight, get everyone together and ritually cast telepathic bond to see how it works, how everyone feels about reading each other's minds.
This will deduct from your total spell levels.
If I ritually cast it,
Can you ritually cast it?
that's the only reason
Yeah,
I
it's a
have it.
ritual
Because it's a
cast.
ritual
Hey.
spell. Yeah.
Then never mind, I'll shut the fuck up.
Gotcha, John. I know
Got
my
'em.
rules.
Swerve.
Perfect time for Zane to practice his new ring.
Sure. Oh, fuck. Can you link that? Did you pull it from the index yet?
Zane's
the ring
over
of
in the
mind
corner
shielding?
like, I think
Yeah.
the fuck not.
I did, but it did not get.
You
I'll
have
go ahead
to
and-
copy and paste it, basically.
Yeah, I'll copy and paste the text into a thing and then put it.
So telepathy is really weird because thoughts are processed much quicker than words coming out of like my mouth, for instance. And you all thinking faster than you guys can truly speak have a little bit of trouble comprehending each other at first. Because although we can spout out a bunch of information, processing that information still kind of takes the regular amount of time. But once you get used to the heightened sense of sudden alien thoughts, quite literally, in your mind, you all start to get this strange sense of like, okay, this is kind of strangely addicting. This is a 5th level spell after all, right?
Is
The fifth
So,
level
luckily no one is
divination
reading your
is a
thoughts.
It's at the end of the first paragraph. Creatures can telepathically communicate with you only if you allow it.
Okay, cool. Well, you can choose to ignore this or allow it into your brain.
He will allow it. He will also go ahead and use the action to make the ring invisible.
Cool. Go ahead and delete that last paragraph entirely.
Yeah, I already did.
Cool.
I already did.
So, are you going to keep doing this throughout the flight so you guys can get used to conveying information quickly? Or is this kind of a...
Yeah, I only intended it the one time, just to be like, okay, everyone, get together. I'm gonna read your mind. Don't think of anything perverted or something like that. Just
Too late.
clean thoughts.
Oh, shit.
You can read my mind.
Mirth is just constantly thinking of himself, and he's completely chiseled.
Yeah, we just hear.
It's
"Man,
just
these guys
sacrament,
sure are-
sacrament, sacrament, sacrament.
These guys sure are losers, Ritual. Ugh.
Ritual. Yes. You all can do this. No big deal. Ow. Fuck. Okay, I need to stop playing with this. See you later. Playing with my toenail clippers like it's a knife. Okay. So, during this flight, which I believe is going to take 3 days or so? Yeah, like 3.5 days. Where are you guys on the Judgment of Longing? Are you like holed up in your bunks just chilling and then like get together, cast a spell, and go your separate ways? Or are you together? What's going on? Give me some narrative descriptions of where you're all at.
Runt, having been a veteran on this particular ship, is going to know all of the places where he shouldn't be, and he's going to try and poke his head. With the kind of arrangement of alliances with the Ulathayans having drastically changed since the last time he was on this ship, he's going to try and poke his head into the bridge and just kind of listen to what's happening and just kind of take in with his new sense of I suppose impending military force that he's going to face. He wants kind of a better perspective of just how an actual military force does things. Because so far they've just kind of been a ragtag band sent in to do whatever the fuck, and hopefully it works out, and sometimes it hasn't, and sometimes it has. So he wants to kind of observe for the first time an actual an organized and disciplined force with the Ulathayans.
Okay. What about you, Nav? And we'll go counterclockwise through this. Where's Nav at?
Are given our new... Because before we were like some shitters that they were kind of pressed into helping because like, you know, the Tyrant's helping the Ulathayans and the Ulathayans are helping the Tyrant out. But now we have this tone shift where he's technically their king, but they're not necessarily happy about that, and we are more or less acting as emissaries of the king that they don't want or don't like that they have. So are these like rank and file Ulathan warriors? Are they treating us differently than they have before?
No. So, I don't know how much I want to go... Well, I don't know how much you want me to go into detail on, like, the Ulathan culture. But they kind of live in a meritocracy that is more or less surrounding 12 noble oligarchs slash families. These families are kind of they have taken over economic parts of the city slash kingdom slash whatever country of New Eulathil. So Arvo was the king. He had full government control, and although it was a mostly, like, honorable position, so not too much government power, it was still... That ceremony did not die off in the Ulathans, even during the modern era. So these guys, the people who initially went with Arvo, who are loyal specifically to Irithyll, have not changed. The other ships probably will not respect you at all. There are 2 new frigates, much like the Judgment of Longing. Whoever is running those vessels, though, you have not interacted with yet.
So basically, whoever was here before, they're in Arvo / Erithil's like camp, and so nothing has changed between us or like them and the Tyrant or Tolst as a whole.
A very big thing to note about Ulathan culture, is they are very honor-focused, and they like hierarchies, specifically where they fall on theirs. They like clear ladders that they know who is above them and who is below them, and they will enforce those hierarchies. You all initially started at the very bottom. You are now kind of on equal level to at least Corathil, the captain. You can't give commands to them. They won't respect you commanding them because, I mean,
we're not their captain.
You're still foreigners. But you more or less have free access to most of a ship's things. You've been around for over a year now with them. And Erithil's relationships are not unnoticed by her people. So, if she's willing to sleep with one of you, I guess that means they can trust some of you.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. Okay.
Then Nav is probably going to spend most of his time just like, I don't know, finding a barracks room where people are doing something and just like shoot the shit.
Oh, yeah. Sounds good. Mr. Zane, you are next. You are Ulathan blood. You're not of their culture. You're from Alcazan, but...
Yeah. Zane wouldn't hole himself up in his room. There's nothing productive to be done if he were to do that. So he's not really sticking around a particular area. He's probably just wandering.
Exploring.
Yeah.
That's fair. I mean, out of all the people who should be exploring crazy magical flying airships, if it's not the wizard, then who would it be? Mirth, what about you?
Yeah, Mirth is going to just assume that these people are going to respect him for who he is, the greatness that he is, and going to just look cool looking out the window for the majesty of everyone to see. In a very public space, and just look regal like he is.
What direction do you look? Do you look out to sea, or do you look towards the continent? Because you guys are like kind of on the shore.
Because besides the sea monsters, he doesn't see much interest in the sea.
That's fair.
There's no one to admire him out there.
It's true. Although the ocean and the sea and the moon are very romantic subjects, in all practicality, followers walk on things. They don't swim in the ocean. Makes
They don't
perfect
walk
sense.
on the moon yet.
What's a moon? Yugu. What about Yugu?
Very clever.
At one point, I had promised
Never gets
Evithil to go drinking with her. I don't know if I ever did match that promise or not, but if I can get Runt, Nav, myself, and her together one of these days, probably the middle day, so if we get too hammered, we'll have a day to recover
True.
and sit down,
Maybe.
play some music, have a few drinks. Right.
Alright, it is on that second day when something afoul happens.
Oh no.
I just rolled my lovely d6 that never fails.
Oh boy.
Nav and Yugu and Irithil are drinking in the shipmaster's quarters. Gibby is likely somewhere on the bridge inspecting the captain, giving orders at his command chair and listening to reports of all the voices speaking in Ulathaean or mixing with Common just to spice things up a little bit. The bridge is cool. Mirth is staring longingly towards the continent, towards the east, where people could be. Others pass him, give him the eye. They must be respectful glances for sure. And Zane is kind of just studying things about this ship. Zane, let's just throw that Arcana roll out there, why don't we?
Alright. He probably has his detect magic eyes on just to...
Who doesn't?
Yeah, just to...
One day we'll get that roll.
Watcha. Ooh, natural one.
Nice.
Natural one.
Yeah, fuck. Yeah, this is some
Very
crazy elf wizard bullshit. You don't understand it. One day, maybe. So.
One day.
Oh, the casual +7.
Yeah.
Runt, we're gonna stick with your POV for this for a little while.
Okay.
You are getting closer to the peninsula. Well, not peninsula, the southern edge, really. Where Visidia Pumpkins starts to clash with this Riverlands, and, of course, lead out to the plains towards Toraturv. You guys are basically going on this kind of route right now. When, suddenly, a person on the Auspex, these magical screens that sort of teleport around 316 every direction of the airship, calls out something in Ulathaean. And immediately, Korthil turns, twists out of his chair, looks over his shoulder, says something else in Ulathaean. Another screen pops up in front of him, and he goes ahead and just activates the intercom in clear common. Unknown vessel spotted entering battle stations level yellow, which is basically everybody get cautious. And immediately in the barracks, where close to Nav, Irithil, and Yugu, people start getting up like, okay, it's another fucking drill, and begin to arm themselves.
Runt is going to... At this time, he would have his communicator on him, just because he's, like, walking around, and we're actively entering dangerous territory, so he's trying to be prepared as possible. And so he would activate his communicator and being like, this isn't a drill. There's something happening up here in the command center. Just keep your eyes open and be ready to, be ready for anything.
Understood. And Zane will go ahead and cast mage armor on himself.
Subtract your first level spell slot. Nav, Yugu.
Nav would probably like tap Irithil or like get her attention and be like, Runt says this is for real.
Yeah, the captain called Code Yellow. And she's wearing her splint mail kind of casually now. You're not actually sure if it's real splint mail or not. It moves far too fluidly to be purely metal. And as we all know, Mirth does not need to prepare for a fight. He is always ready to go at a moment's notice. Of a drop of a nickel, he's just like, ready to bring out the long arm of the law. So as people start arming up, this vessel runt will sort of move in and out of clouds. You can make a perception check to try to see what type it is or where it might be from. The higher you roll, the more information you get. Give me that nat one.
Bonuses for my storm affinity?
Nope.
Okay, I didn't think so. Perception.
Ooh,
14.
that was to GM.
Yep, I was testing out the weapon earlier to make sure that it worked. Do you want me to reroll or do you want me to keep it?
We'll keep the 14 that I see.
I've turned the toggle off, so we should be okay.
You're fine. This is... Does Ron even know anything about airships? I don't...
I suppose he would know the most basics, having spent a little bit of time, or having spent some time with the Judgment of Longing, and I guess having talked with the Prince of Maelstrom, he would have wanted to learn on his trip, because when he was with King Maelstrom on his way back to Maelstrom, he would have tried to inquire about the Maelstrom, the ship, not the person or the place.
Yeah.
So he would have, I would say, fundamental knowledge, but nothing intricate.
Okay. So when I say frigate, you understand that that's like an escort craft, right?
Yeah.
So, like, the Judgment of Longing is a frigate class. It's pretty light. It's special because it has... Well, it's fully made out of enchanted metal and also has crazy heavier cannons than it should. But this is kind of the bog standard Alventory frigate. Well, not Alventory frigate, but Forge of Alvin frigate. This is the most common pattern in the Confederation. So quite literally, this could be from any city-state. Or it could be like a pirate vessel. Others are trying to, like, peek and do weird zoom-ins, which actually affect the resolution, trying to get further detail. But when it goes beyond the clouds, Corathil calls for a 20-degree turn to get more out to sea, and to start raising in elevation, which is more or less standard evade and get ready for anything kind of positioning.
So, is this ship closer towards the shore, or is it closer towards the open water?
It is closer to the shore.
Okay.
You guys were kind of on a collision course with one another. Or they were kind of in an intercepting path, I suppose.
Yeah. Or if they wanted to try and stop us, or if they were pirates, they could try to raid us. Yeah.
Okay. Well, this airship gets to make a secret roll. That is decent. Corathil gets to make a captaincy check. Is also decent. Alright, this comes down to whoever is on Auspex on the other ship. Okay. That is incredibly high perception. This frigate disappears and then comes back out of clouds. Corathil was trying to get into cloud cover to obscure them, but it becomes quite apparent when this vessel starts to move in an erratic form. You guys are quite separated. Neither of you are in weapon range currently. But this frigate is kind of beginning a weird semicircle pattern in a flanking motion, trying to follow, I suppose, beginning a curious, maybe their own inspection pursuit to see what the fuck you guys are. Your craft is kind of alien. Otherwise, they could be trying to get within communicator range. Who knows?
Yeah, Runt's gonna assume the worst and think that that kind of weird flanking motion means that they're setting up for a multi-frontal assault that there might be multiple. He's starting to think that either it's an enemy craft or it's a pirate craft, and there are more than one ship that's going to try and raid them. But he's going to keep watching carefully on the monitors before he makes any decisions or any calls to anyone.
Okay.
May Zane at this point start moving towards the command area just to
Yeah,
meet up with Runt.
for sure. I think everyone is heading there if Nav and Yugu follow Irithil.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If she's gonna
probably.
head there. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, she's the shipmaster.
Yeah.
Irithil heads on up to this command deck, and Mirth, what are you doing, Chief? You're the wild
I'm gonna,
card.
stand up, brush myself off, get ready for a fight, and then start heading towards wherever I see the majority of people going.
Well, people are going up deck or taking positions near bulkheads or cannons. So, the most majestic place you could be is on the deck itself. To stand out in the semi-open air and, like, look out, facing any challengers who may try to board you from above.
Yeah, you know what? If they try to shoot cannon at me, I'm gonna try to catch it. So I'm gonna stand in the middle of the opening.
Okay.
Did
Put
we
that deflect
get Lamau
missiles to
boots?
good use, I guess.
Say that again, Yugu?
Did we get Lamau boots when we got back on the Judgment of Longing? Or did
Yeah,
they never give us?
it's kind of they're not going to let you keep them, so once you get off, but everyone gets them while on the metal ship, because otherwise...
What?
The Lamau
We die.
boots?
You don't know about the Lamau boots?
Oh, I have
No.
them. Hang on, let me.
Yeah, go ahead and post them.
Are they
So,
like magnetic
episode 2 or
tubes?
something.
Yeah,
Kinda,
episode
yeah.
two. One of the first things that we ever actually fucked around with and joked with were the Lamau
Brian.
graves.
True. Ironic, because then you had to immediately grieve for your...
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah,
Uh,
those will be useful.
Okay. Well. It's a trap. John never uses projectiles. Very true. You all sort of get to position. Irithil comes onto the deck, asks for a status report in her native tongue, which is quickly given. And as she starts to order people alongside Corithil, Corithil more being the weapons and direction guy, while Irithil sort of oversees everything. 2 more vessels will become apparent. From that original same direction. 1 frigate and then a bigger, chonkier class vessel. Who actually knows, like, heraldry? Who knows ships or city colors? Is anyone proficient in history? If you're proficient, I'll give you a check.
Zane is.
Well,
Uh,
a man of my word.
I am actually history proficient.
Okay. Very nice.
18.
Liquid snake, is it? Liquid snake will notice immediately that this bigger light cruiser, as it's known, more or less the core warship of any city's like fleet, is flying the colors of the Forge of Alvin.
Okay. In that case, Runt will wait for a good opportunity to make sure that he's not interrupting any orders, which is kind of hard when everyone's shouting. But he'll try his best, and he'll call out to Irithil, those look like Forge of Alvin ships.
Irithil takes your words at a glance and continues to give out orders. We're kind of like, okay, it's just run of the mill, whatever the fuck, we'll just avoid them. And now she's like, alright, battle stations, code red.
it's just a standard ship flying past. It's Forge of Alvin! Oh shit.
Ruh-roh, Reggie.
Rut-row raggy, indeed.
Ruh-roh, Ririthil.
You guys aren't at war. But they also don't want to have potential enemies know where you're going.
Shoot down or not to shoot down.
Yeah. Irithil speaks up in common so that everyone can understand her, and states, "We have a mission to complete. We must get this team to where they need to be. Regardless of if we're followed. All ahead full is the command she gives. Korathil backs this decision because he is a loyal captain to his shipmaster, and the engines begin to move. Anyone not wearing Lamau boots would normally make a check, but since you guys are all on the inside of a ship, it doesn't truly matter. As your vessel just starts to increase in acceleration without creating excess noise. Korathil will continue to ascend the ship as quickly as possible, and a brief communication between the technological inferior radio to like the clear arcane bullshit going on in this room sort of like pops off and cracks into life, but they quickly go out of range.
We had 2 other ships with us, correct?
Only one.
What are they?
No, just us.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't need a fleet
There
to
was
be
a total of
taxied
3
somewhere.
ships that we saw.
Yes. Oh, did Gibby's camera freeze?
First
Oh,
one,
Oh, he's
Gibby's
dying.
ping
Gibby,
skyrocketed.
no! We're about to lose him.
Gibby.
Someone take a screenshot.
All right, drink to that, boys.
Alright, woo! I finally get to participate.
Woo!
Technical difficulties. We keep getting calls and him freezing his.
Screenshot has been taken.
Nice. Posted in general memes. Well,
Surprised he's still in the Discord call.
I am too, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there he goes.
Oh,
That you had to
Those
mention it.
heroes.
Guys, we'll take a quick break here. I think it's a good time. And when we come back, we'll hopefully have Gibby back as well. We'll be right back.
3.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for your patience, and I hope you had something to drink during the technical difficulty. Irithel makes her order. It's pretty clear. I suppose you can all say something? Mirth, you actually get to view one of these ships. It's about a quarter-mile away, sort of interspersed, but you recognize your home city's banners that are clearly coming to, like, intercept or chase after the vessel you're on.
Yeah, my smile immediately darkens, and it's not a good emotion I'm showing in my face.
Fair. What about the people on the bridge, the command bunker?
Run is concerned, mainly because even if the Judgment of Longing decides to go disengaged full speed ahead, there's no guarantee that the Forge of Alvin, greatly outnumbering us, although that is a fight we may be able to escape from, having a damaged Judgment of Longing before we even get there seems like a pretty scary prospect.
Yeah.
Well, I recently learned this skywriting ritual. Maybe we send them a message in the clouds.
No.
See if they fuck off. Oh, okay.
No.
Irithel just says no. She doesn't elaborate further.
Does no, refuses to elaborate, leaves.
What a base
Giga
person.
Chad.
What a giga chat.
What a power move.
Nav, is it weird watching, like, I guess what are known as, like, the most heroic / protective fleet? These guys mostly just deal with, like, pirates and keep trade going throughout the Confederation. Could it be they're just mistaken you guys for pirates? I mean, you're not wearing or waving, like, toll spanners on your vessel. This is a stealth ship.
No, he's mostly just annoyed at, like, the Forge. Not, like, at the people, but just, like, the Forge of Alvin doing political bullshit when they should be, like, putting political bullshit aside for, like,
And a son being
you know.
dummy.
world stuff.
We got gods coming back, and you're worried about politics?
And, yeah, so he's just like, man, these fuckers didn't waste time. Because Nav thinks they know who we are.
Okay.
Like, we were in contact with the Forge of Alvin for a while. Like, it's not out of the scope of reason to think that they know about, this crazy, like, ship with crazy cannons that we have. Like, we
Yeah.
haven't been subtle about a lot of our shit. So,
We've
Yeah.
landed there before. In the Judgment of Longing, right?
No,
No? Okay.
they don't really land. They, like, do emergency pickups, like in the City of Blinding Lights, where they don't give a shit. They just ram their ship into buildings. They don't give a fuck. Well, like, the Forge of Alvin that has a standing fleet and a dreadnought that sits over their city, like, nah, they're not gonna fuck with that. Like, cool, they have lightning cannons in their hull, but,
we have a whole fleet, so.
yeah. Like, what's it matter if you shoot down, like, 2 frigates? Like, they're gonna fucking murder you. Okay, well, the light cruiser cannot keep up with the frigate, and the other 2 frigates have a chance to potentially keep pace at the very least. They will make captaincy checks, because common, if you are not a pirate, normally you would stop when you are hailed, or at least get within messaging range. That's pretty good. That's mediocre. Alright, Big Daddy Corthil, coming at us with another hit single. One of the vessels will keep pace. The other one will lag behind by another 20-ish to 30,000 feet. just away. The weird magical room you're in will start to display a true, like, three-dimensional illusion of kind of outlines of where vessels are. They are very geometric in shape, mostly just triangles floating or hovering through a cube. But you guys can see that there's some sort of magical tracking that the Judgment of Longing has access to. And after a party hour of moving at maximum speed, also known as all ahead full, both of the frigates will kind of start to fall further and further behind, getting pulled as is away from their light cruiser, who is a third slower than them. Memory serves.
That's pretty slow.
It is pretty slow, yeah. But they have like 4 times the armament, so.
Oh, fair.
Yeah. Yeah. The Judgment of Longing has no need to attack them. And if they start backing up, they clocked your direction. Clearly heading to Ugarest or Mokapuni. But that's not your problem to deal with. So you guys fucking fly.
That's gonna be a problem for someone later.
Yeah.
But not us.
Probably the failure team.
Probably the failure team, or anyone who goes near the Forge of Alvin.
We are going to fast forward today. Eventually, the alerts go down to code yellow and then code green. Or threat level green, as they sometimes like to call it. Where everyone goes back to just being regular sailors. A little bit of a stressful situation, but otherwise non-combative. That's something, right?
That's always good.
What terrible
It's a
timing.
big old question
Right
mark
when we
with
were drinking.
non-combative.
True. Irithyll will resume the party games, as it were. Getting drunk with more than just you guys, but everybody on the vessel at one point.
Damn.
Nothing like drinking with your shipmaster every now and again, who's known to go into drunken fits of lust. You all will spend another night here, and then get to your rendezvous point, where you guys will sort of meander, and just hover within a 5 to 20 mile radius of where you're supposed to meet up, where the Judgment of Longing can catch some people. And eventually, John actually needs to keep track of this. I think it was the 7th. Yes, on the 7th is when you spot them. A fleet of around 15 Ugarestian airships. Some of you may think that is an absurd amount, especially when a normal patrol is like 3 frigates. However, Ugarest is at war with Maelstrom, who fucks their day with 1, no matter how many fair ships they seem to have. So, rolling in high numbers of cheap, mass-produced airships is kind of what they do. And Irithyll isn't even distraught about this. She was cautious with the Forge of Alvin. She's like, nah, whatever, who cares? Like, we can rip these motherfuckers in half.
Ugarest is pulling the Russia approach of just throw people at the problem until it doesn't move anymore.
That's kind of, yeah, that's true. Eventually, a radio transmission will go throughout the intercom and be like, hey, Disco team, get your shit. It's time to trade you.
Alrighty. Squad up, boys. We're moving out.
Zane will say goodbye to the Greaves that have made walking on this airship a breeze.
True.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Lamau. Jink.
As the fleet begins to disperse in kind of a patrol, Way, a singular, smaller escort ship, similar in size to the Judgment of Longing, but much less armored and armed, will come quite close and do a very, I don't want to say docking maneuver, but a deacceleration to the point where a flyer will be or glider, I suppose, will be shot over to the Judgment of Longing that has a wooden undercarriage. This rinky-dink thing that lands on the Judgment of Longing, at least on the deck. Immediately, one guy will open the doors as you all start to come to the deck and greet you. Quite literally just popping out of the door as if he had just been yeeted outside of the fabric of reality and no-clipped through a wall. Then the small underwooden carriage will be opened and like 4 more people will show up. Irithyll and Corathil. No, Corathil's still on the deck. Irithyll is with you, along with some of her guards and Marine/anti-boarders to trade you for Ugarestian hostages. The man who no-clipped will give out the proper Ugarestian greeting of Kalu Kalay, my friends! It's good to see that Tulst has finally taken us up on our offer! This is a younger man in his early 20s, wearing a prim military uniform that has been starched, so super clean and kind of like a joke, like no proper military. Fucking Gibby,
Dude.
Yeah, he froze.
He went
for,
through the
like,
worm.
10
I
or
thought-
15
Oh, I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
Gibby, we didn't even notice you were gone. You were so in such a state of concentration.
Yeah, the last thing I heard was the Ulathayan of yeah. Then you immediately cut off, and I was like, yeah, I know where this is going. So I'm just gonna stay here because even when my internet came back, it was super fucky.
Okay.
So it brings me back on the computer again. I'll leave that and just come back on my phone, and then I'm gonna stay here on my phone.
Okay. You want to turn your camera on real quick? Oh.
It's gonna be my ceiling. You guys are gonna look at my nice fan or my nice
Water
lamp.
bottle?
My,
Nice.
Water lamp.
Oh, Jesus.
we've got lamp.
Alright, hang on. I gotta take a
Sorry
drink.
about that. I had to murder a centipede real
Oh,
quick.
true.
Jesus. Just going wrong for everybody.
It's nice having very heavy weights.
I guess.
Delay.
Kalu Kalay, the Ugarestian says in a very high-pitched tone of voice. Very happy that this is happening. Almost suspiciously happy. Starched uniform, he has a little chevron on his armband and a little insignia right here showing the, like a Seahawk descending, sort of pinned to him. And he greets you all. He says, oh, fuck, what's his name? Oh, shit, John forgot this character's name. Let's take another drink, everybody.
He goes, oh, fuck, what's my name?
Mike's hard. Lemonade.
No.
Edition.
He has a lore name. A name John actually wrote down somewhere.
Oh my god, I'm finally done with the sake.
His
Dang,
name,
you were just
his
chugging
name is
sake.
Tyrolean, surprisingly.
No, fuck you.
And his name was John Cena. Do 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 do.
Okay. Fuck you.
Suddenly, Runt is struck by a stray cannonball from the Forge of Alvin ship.
Suddenly, Gibby has become a Mike's Hard Lemonade.
Yeah,
Staring down at us.
You know, he tried to censor me earlier, but now I'm just bringing it back. Mike is gonna have to just deal with today's sponsor, Mike of Mike's Hard. of Mike's Heart's lemonade.
I have found his name. Okay. Chevron, insignia, starched uniform, crew cut, like super trimmed, clear military man, as well as a black cloak is on his shoulder, kind of like one of those half capes that just go over one arm. He greets you all and calls himself, I am Sander, Kalu Kalay, my friends! Are you ready to enjoy your new life in Ugarest?
Yeah.
Once
What?
you join us, you'll never want to leave! He comes to shake everybody's hands. Who's the first person to approach? Who's the leader? Is this a race between Mirth and Runt?
Yeah, Mirth is walking up.
And you
Over
both roll
steps
initiative just for fun.
He's gonna take a couple steps, and then he's just gonna see Mirth, basically just striding up, and he's gonna hesitate long enough for Mirth to be able to grab his hand first.
Okay, Mirth, you are, of course, Runt backs away from your mighty prowess, and your reach is long. So if he tries... So, how aggressive of a handshake is this? Is this a full-powered one?
Yeah, all 6 strength.
Yeah, give me a strength check.
Natural 20, do it. Aw.
Not bad for
That's
minus
pretty
2
average.
strength.
Oh, fuck. Did my... Oh, 9
Oh,
strength.
whatever.
His natural 18 does win out, but he is quite a weak man himself. So, he has minus 3 strength here.
Oh my!
Wow.
One weaker than Mirth.
He is quite weak and frail. But as soon as you grab his hand, he latches onto it, so happy that you're here. He grabs your elbow, thinking it's your shoulder, realizes his mistake, leans in further to touch your shoulder, and brings you into a weird hug.
I like to imagine that the arm is fully past him.
Yeah. Earth, do you
It's
want
like
this
a
man
weird
hugging you?
contortionist arm.
I'll allow him to do so.
He hugs you, saying Kalu Kalay again. What do you say in return to his Kalu Kalay?
Luke Lay.
He just starts doing this weird head motion of happiness. And then one guy, looking rather sad, walks up behind him and says, "Are we gonna be treated for the hostages now?" And this character named Xander looks up and says, "Sad boy, you're not supposed to be sad. You're going back to Tolls. Have fun with the barbarians." And he just judo chops him in the neck. Sad boy immediately crumples, just...
Zane looks at Irithil. I'm sorry, what was this about hostages?
Irithil looks at Zane, just like, what? So, they're our hostages, so if they kill you, we'll kill them in retaliation.
I see.
Yeah. It's how we keep each other honest, with juggling lives of our friends. Well, have fun! Get on the boat! One of the Ulathaean guards comes to help Sad Boy up, and Xander immediately lets go, just points at the elf coming, and is just like, "You will let him stand on his own! He is strong!" The Ulathaean just fucking side-eyes Irithil, who's just like, fuck it. Liking this weird masochistic entity she's watching.
So, do you happen to be a lieutenant, by any chance?
No, I'm a cadet colonel.
Nice.
Okay.
Means I'm gonna be a colonel whenever I get out of the academy.
Could you bring
I'm
us?
sure that's exactly what that means.
That's what I was told
By your recruiter?
by the War Master herself,
Oh,
the
buddy.
White Maiden. Let's go see her right now. I'm tired of being on this barbarian vessel. Come on, Kaloo everybody!
Zane isn't even like culturally and Ulathan, but like he feels offended on their behalf because he can at least admire the marvel of technology they have.
Yeah, the Judgment of Longing is quite vastly superior in terms of technological advancement and magic. And this guy's just like, this is barbaric. Like, it's beneath him. A thing to note is he is clearly, like, non-mutated human. Everyone you are being traded for is a demi-human, quite obviously. Sad Boy has a tail. Other people, some have scales, others have kind of longer ears, much like an Ulathan themselves. Or maybe half. But they're clearly... It is clear something is going on. Do you follow Xander? Do you have a choice?
We cut the bridge and fall to our death.
Well, didn't it land on our ship?
Yeah.
We'd have to push it off manually.
Xander hops on board. What are the rest of you doing?
I'll go with
Yeah.
happy-go-lucky camper guy.
Rowan will kind of sigh and go, ugh. Alright.
Zane
what
gets
a-
on
Try something.
left.
A brand new world.
I just saw Gibby's head pop into frame and then pop back out.
Ugh.
See his hair.
A brand new,
Hi guys.
Hang on.
Are you playing D&D?
Mirth, what about you, bud?
Well, even if they
God.
try something, it's not going to stop us from escaping. So,
True.
or from Mirth's perspective,
You'll just swim back to the continent if you have to.
yeah.
It's only 600 miles.
He does have that cloak of the manta ray.
True.
I can breathe in the water.
Can you sleep underwater, though?
Questionably, as long as the hood doesn't come off.
Actually, you have a swim speed of like 60 now, don't you?
Yeah.
Alright, maybe that is
Cloak of the
possible
Manta
for
Ray.
you in a day.
Cloak of the manta ray gives you a 60-foot swim speed, which is very nice.
You guys can hop on board this glider, which will, as soon as you guys get in, Xander will lock the door. You can enter this actually quite cramped compartment where there are like 10 seats. And then he will head into one and just say, "You better buckle in! Shit's about to get real!"
Snap, snap. I do not trust this thing with my life.
Yeah,
Okay.
me too.
I want to hear confirmation
Fine.
from all of you. Is anyone a daredevil?
Alrighty. Let's go.
Oh, you know it.
Alright, Murph.
Zane looks to see if there even are seat belts.
There are, yes. There's harnesses here that literally go from, like, between your legs to your shoulders. So this is like a full-bodied roller coaster here. Mirth, I need a strength saving throw.
Oh no.
It was at this point we lost Mirth.
And he swam to
Uh-oh.
Ugaras.
That's actually a
no.
pass.
I dread to think what a fail would have been.
It'd be a lot of fall damage, but even then, Mirth probably would have been fine.
He's a fucking monk. He doesn't do fall
Well,
damage.
it would be a lot. It's not like it's literally bouncing off the walls.
Oh.
Mirth, you hold on to like these two metal bars next to your like butt cheeks, and just like go full plank mode as you feel the gravity just like whip around. All of you are like thrashed in your seats. You can't really see what's going on outside. There's no windows in this fucking thing. And you just feel like a pull as you just go a direction. It's an awful, terrible sensation. Many of you likely will puke during this time. Xander remaining perfectly clean, even if you directly aim it at him. you will land after like 60 seconds of just being pulled into a waiting hangar of a frigate, an Ugarestian frigate. Again, Xander will exclaim, Kalu Kalay, hip hip hooray, open the door for you all, and then just kind of walk into this, like, really cramped, oiled, and gas-fueled hangar that smells of metal, oxidized iron, and gasoline. It is the complete opposite of the nice, neat, and clean ride you had on a luxury battlecraft by the Ulathans. It is messy, it is gross, and Xander is all about not addressing this at all and getting you to a much more scenic view. Follow me, my guests of honor!
Smells like home roughly a year ago.
I see! Follow me, my guests of honor! He repeats.
Kalu Kalay!
There, that's the spirit!
Do you know what
I thought
that
you
means?
had more eyes. He points at Nav.
They're hiding. They're a little shy.
Oh, that's cool.
Zane slowly rubs his temples and mutters to himself, I'm going to go fucking insane here, aren't I?
Kalu Kalay. The rest of your journey back to Ugarest will kind of be bland, guys. Very, very boring. Not many windows to look out of. You're not allowed, like, on the bridge at all. And you're kind of just, like, hunkered down in these corridors? Quarters? Like, a series of 3 rooms, which are less than what you'd expect from a modern airship. That, you know, this isn't clear. This is like function over form for all intents and purposes. It is a rough ride, but when the ride ends and the airship breaks speed hours later after being traded, you will be allowed off the airship and view a most wondrous scene of a brand new map with music that I am desperately looking for. Oh, is this you? No, that's way too. That is like, no. No.
No.
No.
What about you? Yeah, that'll work. You all see outside to a beautiful city of white stone, of green height, towering windmills, clear just architecture everywhere. Neatly designed, crystal clear, made of glass and marble, and some even have gold rooftops, unironically made of gold. Blue seems to be the predominant tile set here, but there are also reds and beiges and more colorful ones that scatter all around. Ports are filled with sailing ships. Thousands of sailing ships from who knows where. Maybe all corners of the known world. Not just Ugarest, clearly. Airships fly in low to these green grassy fields where they either hard land or they dock at airship stations and terminals. There are many things to see that your eyes just kind of dart over. One is just a humongous ass tree that's maybe 1,000 feet tall in total height. There is a massive Colosseum-esque structure that is in the northern corner. There is a huge cathedral as well in the southwest The keep, though, is the main source of your eye. It's just a huge part of the city center. Just this massive, humongous wall with a structure sitting on a hill that overviews the entirety of Ugarast. This beautiful, aesthetic town. Roads are painted yellow, surrounded by white. Grass is growing seemingly just nowhere in particular. And when you guys step out of your airship onto the deck of a tower, specifically this tower right here, if you can see that. I don't know if you were being dragged to it. Oops. I don't know if that just fucked everything. Kinda did. You are directed towards a purple-tiled manor. That is where our delegate shall meet you. Unfortunately, the White Maiden could not make it today, but she will get to you in 2 days' time. If you wish to sightsee, all you need to do is tell me. Please think of this as a vacation, and welcome to the magnificent city of Ugarast. Kalukale.
Kalukale.
Do we need you to lead us places? Or
You
can we
do! Especially you, unfortunately.
Why?
Yeah.
He looks at you all as if you don't understand that Yugu is a 6.5. Well, not 6.5. How tall are you again? Like,
No, I'm short. 5 something. I have a height, like 5'7", I think.
a 5.5 foot tall red lizard man. And then he looks to Mirth, who's also like this gangly armed bugbear monster. Nav, what do you look like? Are you just like human passing here?
Probably. I have a weird parlor and weird tattoos, but that would nothing extremely like demi.
You could definitely pass yourself off as a human, for sure. You four, not so much. Maybe if we got him kids' clothes, he says, pointing at Ron.
No, we've done that before. No, not again.
Okay, that's fine.
Generally, the voice would probably be enough to tip people off.
True.
But why does that matter exactly?
There are certain people in Ugarast who view the world as it once was, rather than what we should be aiming to achieve.
Oh, so you've got racists here. Okay.
Racist, yes, that is the term. Xenophobes, if you want. Some of them are more hostile than others, who we are trying to oust from power. That's kind of why you're here. Which is why why don't we go and speak to the delegate, who is much more persuasive and informed on the subject than I, a meager and humble servant to the White Maiden, Xander.
Could you... not super important, but why can the White Maiden not speak with us?
She is currently busy holding war council. She is the war master, unfortunately.
No, yeah, we get it. Yeah.
What?
In 2 days' time, you will meet, likely in her keep, in the southern wing, and he points literally down the cliff to this massive harbor town. Or town within a town, I suppose. This is where several military vessels are just sort of docked in the water, guarded by high sea walls.
While this Xander guy is not looking, can Zane get off a quick little detect magic? Because he's interested to see what would happen here.
Is this your Eldritch invocation?
Yes.
Then you can always have that on without any... You don't need to say or do anything. You literally open your eyes.
But yeah, like in Tolst, everything would have shown and would have blinded him, but he's not quite sure here.
Very few things indeed are magical. The airship you were on, no magic. Xander, has his magical aura around him, but it's kind of faint, and then, like, sort of shimmers at seemingly random intervals, as if it's, like, reacting to something that you can't really see. His color, I believe, is a deep blue for the most part, which is the school of abjuration,
I
or the
see.
color tied to abjuration. Yeah, Ugarest is a very non-magical city. There are very few wizards here, or anyone of note, to be honest.
That means Detect Magic is going to see a lot of use here.
It's true. Would you like refreshments at the very least? You've been traveling for days, cramped in cooped corners and metal beds, surely.
Yeah, actually, could you find me a nice piece of 2x4? Maybe oak or cedar?
What?
A piece of wood?
Why do you need a piece of wood?
My teeth, they're a little... I need to wear them down.
Okay. He accepts
Why
this
not?
as if this is perfectly rational. To the delegate! Let's go!
As we're walking, Zane will just sort of whisper to Runt. Not a whole lot of magicals. Not a whole lot of magical anything here. Seems like we'll get.
You don't really need to whisper.
I fucking.
Yeah, I couldn't
Yeah.
hear jack shit. I don't know. If
Same.
He will whisper to Runt that not a
He
lot of things are
leans up-
magic. He. I can't stop laughing. He will whisper to Runt, it looks like not a lot of stuff is magical here, so we'll get a lot out of being able to detect what will be magical.
I'll whisper
Runt will give
to.
a nod, and he'll
What?
the telepathy up.
Ron, we can barely hear you. You're on your phone.
I believe he was asking if the telepathy was up. We did not hear a thing you just
Yeah,
said,
you-
Runt.
That is correct.
Okay.
It takes me 10 minutes. I don't actually know how to cast it. I need a copy from the wizards.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Yeah.
god
There
damn
it
it.
is.
I'll drink to that, baby.
Alright.
Well, he's probably just trying to come back in on his computer.
Oh yeah, he's in the war room.
You're not gonna guess what happened next. My phone crashed.
Your phone crashed?
Hey!
On my phone crashed. That's a drink.
Yeah.
Oh, way ahead of you.
Welcome back, though, to your computer.
Yeah, I was asking if we had telepathy up so we didn't have to whisper.
Yeah, it would take me 10 minutes of waiting to cast it, so.
I mean, I thought you. Okay, if it's not up right now.
That
then
was
it's up.
days ago.
Yeah, I didn't know if because it was a little hard for me to hear because people were still lagging because my phone was dying. Whether
We
or not
understand.
you did it, yeah, whether or not you had done it previously, but suppose he'll just kind of, he'll speak in a low volume, but he's not gonna whisper and just kind of look over at Zane and like, that's good. Keep an eye out on Yugu for me, will you? I have a feeling that some of us are gonna have to do a lot of talking, and not all of us have amazing attention spans when it comes to new places.
Everybody follow me! Xander says, leading you down a road where there are quite a few people that are armed with firearms, but in some sort of like almost parade fashion. So like every 150 feet there's like a pair on each side of the road. Clearly watching you. Maybe they're trying to impress you. Maybe they are worried you may cast fireball right on their city or whatever. But you are observed and in a clear military area. After all, a warship just docked here. You make it to the purple tiled roof building, excuse me, and enter this very nice garden foliaged filled yard. It's beautiful. There's all sorts of white and yellow flowers growing from flower beds, sunflowers, lilies, stuff like that. There's even like a decorative pond where there are some fish swimming, living their lives to their best of their ability.
Question,
Hello, Cat.
John.
Yeah.
So, are there any signs of any elemental forces around here?
Do you have a way of interacting with that? Can you give me more than that?
Well, I was going, because this is the reason why I keep saying, because you told me when I got the power from the storm elementals that I began noticing that the world is just filled with elemental stuff, and then I could just see it now. And that, like, I could feel like elemental presences, even if I can't be like, look, there's an elemental. Like, it's not obviously like that. It's just more of like you're able to like understand that there is this kind of extra presence there of nature being elemental.
If there is, it is dormant and not doing anything.
Okay.
Which is quite common in civilized areas. Maelstrom being the main exception, but it doesn't really fuck with it. Well, no, it fucks entirely with the ground. The whole reason that Maelstrom is always sinking is because of its elemental.
Yeah.
Either way, you don't detect anything crazy like that. The earth doesn't rumble. A volcano doesn't bust out of the bay here. But there's nice gardens. Will you settle for a nice garden?
I'll settle for a nice garden.
Nice.
And I'll look at it suspiciously, being like, "Are you alive?" Like not like obviously at the play. Like someone watching him would be like, "Is he like what? Is he stupid?" Yeah, they're playing.
Everyone has just already moved into this nice ornamental structure. Clearly, some sort of like not ambassador, embassy. Thank you. Some kind of embassy where this purple tiled roof is. And when you get there, there's a lot of, like, things from Tolst that do not match where they should be, but clearly this interior was, like, designed with, like, a person from Tolst living here. Maybe the structure was raised on your behalf to make it feel like home, but... like, they have the wrong kind of table, and the refrigerator is clearly not running. No, I'm kidding. God, a refrigerator
you don't have
running.
to catch it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the save, Orion. It's clearly different technology. It seems to be more advanced in just sophistication. And it's aesthetically pleasing, which most refrigerators in Tulsa are not. They're not very... ornamental.
Big old squares.
Yeah, big old rectangular prisms, those things. There is a person waiting to meet you who stands as you enter a room, like a meeting room, with a dining room table and then like a coffee table, like right in the center of it. So they just don't have the right kind of shit here, guys. These furniture, like, whoever furnished this building never lived on the continent. Or at least in Tolst.
They don't even have a crab being threatened by cannon.
True. They don't. The person who meets you is a rather tall, graying but once truly blonde-haired man who seems semi-built, not like supernaturally built. So, you know, like 12 to 13 strength, which is kind of a theme. These people are not, like, physically strong compared to the strong people you know. Like...
they're not like hunters, right?
Yeah. Like, even the most average member of the task force, before military training, was strong, if that was why they were hired. Like Thatch, for instance. He is just made of muscle, even though he only has like 18 strength. These guys, physically present, but kind of diminutive in that they just don't carry their weight as you'd think a person on the continent might. This guy comes up and starts shaking people's hands, dressed nicely in kind of a robe slash weird armor set going on. Like, he has a breastplate basically underneath just these very nice textiles made of silks and whatnot. And he comes to shake each one of your hands, bows his head in greetings, and greets you. My name is Gordon Alabaster. It is nice to meet you all. You are the disco team, I'm told. Name for your love of dance.
Not exactly.
Obviously.
But
And
sure.
music. Yeah.
We do love music.
I mean, we have a bard with us, right?
And I'll strum my
A
lute.
bard! I've heard of your kind, sir. They are quite impressive.
Do you not play music here?
Oh no, we love music. We just don't have the magical musicians. We have one magical musician. They are a legend, playing in the theater district basically every day, selling sold-out venues.
Runt kind of elbows you, being like, "Hey, I'm gonna make some money while we're here, fella."
Don't think... I don't look human.
You could
Ah.
disguise yourself with magic.
Xander, you primed them to be afraid. And Xander's like, I sure did, sir! And he gives him a salute. Kalukale, and then the guy immediately tries to punch him, and Xander just blinks like 10 feet away. And it's like, I understand, I may have misstepped, sir. And then like a chair is thrown at him. And he dodges the chair, blinking again, like, Xander, get the fuck out of here right now! And he's like, yes, sir! And just leaves.
Kalukale, sir! Disappears.
Yeah. He walks out of the front door to stand in a hallway somewhere out of sight. But not out of mind. You can still kind of hear him skulking around.
So when he blinked to the side, what did my magic eyes see when that happened?
The same flickering of just like deeper blue, shunting him to a safer location.
I see. So
It
he
was-
Almost like
he
a
would be
misty
great
step.
fight. Except
Kind
misty
of.
step is an abjuration.
True. Apologies. Xander was trained to be a hunter, or at least our answer to the hunters, and
Took to the training a little too well.
it got in his head, the superiority complex that hunters have. It was a massive backfire, but he is useful. So please forgive him if he has overstepped his authority.
So we don't have to Kalukale.
No, you
Everyone.
don't.
Oh, thank
It
God.
is our national greeting of like, I'm happy to see you, but... Or I'm happy, really, that's what it means.
Do we actually need him to lead us? I don't want to follow around that idiot.
I promise you, this city will hate him long before they hate you. That is why he is there. He is a rascal and
he
a
is
skirt
the hate
chaser, as it were. He is a menace.
So he is the hate-absorbing shield that we will be using. Got it.
Correct. I'm glad well, no. I almost misspoke. I'm glad you take to our ways quickly, Mr.
You're referring to me?
Yes.
Zane Arkosha.
Mr. Arkosha, then. How do I interlude this to what you need to know to perform your duties?
Just hit us with it, Chief. We're used to non sequiturs.
The White Maiden is in a power struggle for the throne of the city. I am sure you are aware of this. It is more or less open knowledge to damn near every citizen in the city at the moment. They are making moves in the shadow. Our war is not a open one. Violence here is something we are trying to avoid, at least in terms of the mass scale. We don't want a revolution, popular or not. We are not seeking a coup d'etat. We are looking to legally remove the Archon from power, which is what should have been done the moment we joined the Confederation of Klovisa. Unfortunately, several world leaders on the continent have now said that the Confederation no longer exists, strengthening the Archon's position greatly.
So if I'm reading you correctly, we are attempting to wage a war not of bodies, but of hearts and minds.
Correct. Specifically 10 hearts and minds. I being one of them. Fret not, I am already in the camp of the White Maiden. I more or less raised her. Although I'm not her father. I should state that quite quickly before any of you get confused by our strange dynamic.
We're no
This
strangers
entire
to...
group is filled with strange dynamics.
Yes.
Indeed. I'm sure this is the case. You'll forgive me if I don't know your exact accounts. Most of the files the Tyrant has sent to us have been heavily censored. I know one of you will get the job done no matter what sort of action needs to be taken, he says, glaring at Runt for a moment.
Runt gives a sly smile and a knowing nod.
2 or 3 others of you have made a boy a king, which is something that we also are keenly interested in doing. Not that we are wanting to make the White Maiden our queen, but to remove a king should be relatively similar process, I assume. Maybe not.
Well, on that, has an Archon been removed in this way before?
No. Legally, we can do this. It has never once needed to be done. It is one of those articles of unification loopholes that we have.
So what do you actually want us to do?
There are
If
9 people. We call them, code word, mogul. Not all of them are rich or financially powerful, but there are 9 other very influential people in the city that more or less have direct ties to politicians in power that we cannot pressure. Their masters are the 9, as we call them. The moguls, the 9, whatever code word you want. We have 2 firmly in the camp of the Archon. The other 7 up for grabs, making statements of neutrality, playing the game, as it were. Those 7 we need to get the majority of, for a total of 6. Well, 5 including me. So, a total of 6. I'm already there. Once we have the majority, legally we will have enough pressure to remove the Archon and turn our great state of Ugarest into an even greater one.
And why Toast members instead of fellow
Ugarestians.
civilization? Yeah, fellow people.
Ugarest lacks some of the more fundamental aspects of what you need to do on the continent to survive. Continental life is quite the challenge. Threatening beasts lurk around corners. You must hide behind giant walls and strong governments and be both individually powerful and almost stoic to properly survive. Ugarestians, on the other hand, have an island. We are an island nation. Spirit beasts do not come here. They cannot reach us except by foolish importers who wish to sell us geodes or crystals under the guise of trade when enacting terrorism. We don't often deal with those after the first round. We learned our lesson when we joined the Confederation. Good old Maelstrom, am I right, fellas? Pulling some pranks on us.
Those rascals.
Those absolute fucking dicks.
Yes, quite.
As at looking at Runt directly.
Runt, looking genuine, stares straight back at Nav and says, "Yeah, they're a bunch of assholes."
Well, be that as it may, their character is not what we care about. Neither do we care about your character too much. What we need is your skill and power. Spellcasters are quite few in this day and age. The Moguls all have some sort of magical protection, but not stuff that can be overcome. None comparing to the Tyrant, nor the White Maiden, our city's most powerful magical entity. She is our champion, our hero, blah blah blah. She has collected most of the people with that potential of talent under her wing, has strengthened our military, but the military cannot just act in political affairs. Which is why we need outsiders, unfortunately. If we could bribe or debate the Moguls into our way of thinking, this would be quite easier.
So
Favors need to be exchanged.
Where would you like us to begin?
That is a good question. And to start, we're going to enter a montage. As this man, Gordon Alabaster, will explain to you the situation. There are 10 Moguls in total. He is one of them. We can kind of ignore him for now. He is, after all, explaining the situation to you. And you don't need to convince him to be on your side. He has asked for your help. The first one in the enemy camp is a man by the name of Sylvester Steele the 50th. He is the 50th Sylvester in a long line of Steels. He is mostly the reason why they cannot bribe people, because he has a magical ability that lets him print money of any sort of denomination. He can print Tulse bucks. He can ruin Tulse economy if he wanted to. Because of this blatant power of financial destruction, he is quite the threat. The only downside is he cannot make gold. Gold is truly magical. You cannot just manufacture that out of thin air. Silver he can do, though. His net value, just familial wealth, is 50 billion gold pieces. He is quite possibly the richest individual alive, which is much more than what the Tyrant got from Ozark, if that matters to anyone. He uses his wealth to push his own agenda. But, and Gordon Alabaster needs to save us in character. he is kind of a pervert. It is sort of his family's deal. What his first ancestor wanted to do when he came to Ugarest, fleeing the spirit beast, was make a, and I quote, lesbian stronghold.
Ah.
Yes. He is quite weird and peculiar. This seems to be like a degenerative disorder within their mental health as well. Maybe he's cursed, honestly. I don't know much about curses. Do you? Does anybody?
Very well.
I don't
Zane
have to
might?
curse people.
Question mark.
I was cursed.
Oh, maybe you could tell. He has to be able to print money from somewhere, and it's clearly a magical effect. Next up, also already in the camp of the Archon, is Linnell Sharp. Sharpe. Okay, so her whole shtick is she is an experimental weapons manufacturer on, like, mass scale. She creates ballistic missiles. She literally has a missile that can hit from, like, 500 miles away, accurately. Like, up to a mile to a quarter mile, I think is how accurate it can get. To our understanding, she is a Hyperion backer. She's backed by Hyperia for experimental weapons and whatnot. The Archon is deep in cahoots with the Hyperion Empire to the west. So, if anyone would be able to change their mind or be flipped out of their position once it has been made, it may be her if we somehow get the Hyperions on our side. But until that becomes apparent, or a avenue to even explore.
Well, that brings up a good question. I assume that with Hyperion being such a potentially huge backer for the Archon, that they have some sort of embassy or delegate here.
They do. The downside is they are in the keep. The guarded... It actually has a name. I'm sorry. The Archon Stronghold. Our embassy that was built for you specifically.
I assume if any place here in Ugarest was magically protected, it would be there.
Yes. Since ancient days, it has magically been held together, or some nonsense.
Now this begs an out-of-character question, Mr. DM. Do we know anyone from Hyperion at all?
Just Meza.
Yeah, just Meza.
She is a princess to their emperor.
Dang. Now would be a not terrible time to know sending, but I don't know it.
We'd be too
I
far
know
away, I think,
sending.
for sending.
Oh yeah, just one continent, right?
True. Let's put a pin
Oh.
in that one. Why don't you mark that down somewhere? Because we're just getting our toes wet, as it were, right now. So that is Linnell Sharp. Arms manufacturer and Hyperion supporter. Next up is the first of the neutral. These are the 7 that we wish to convince. His name is Alan Bogar. He has more or less recently become the most influential vehicle manufacturer of our entire city. He is selling his vehicles and designs to Big Stinky, even, the technological magicians themselves. Some claim that he is going to become the first artificer that Ugarest has ever made. On the downside, he is a complete and utter madman, and I have no idea what the fuck he wants. It's kind of hard for direct contact between us. I hope you understand. There are many spies that are being traded and paid off. I just want you all to understand that direct contact between these moguls is pretty obvious.
Mm-hmm. Subterfuge and subtlety.
Yes. He's more or less the wild card that we know nothing about. He's in his early 20s, similar to Mr. Xander over there. And Xander pops in and just says, "Did you see my..." And then immediately pulls a knife and just throw like a kitchen knife.
Man's gonna look at the knife being thrown and go, "Ooh, that's a good throw," and then kind of goes, "Aw," as Xander just pulls back his head, just quick enough to dodge it.
Oh, he does not make the... Xander does not dodge anything. He does not make motions to dodge. You're a rogue.
Yeah,
you are quite literally the most dexterous dodger of your entire group. His muscles do not tense, they do not move. He just gets teleported somewhere. This is clearly some magical bullshit going on.
Yeah.
Just fucking son of a bitch. During this time, dinner will also be served by servants, who, when they are present, the conversation will quickly die down. And again, Alabaster will remind you all that spies are everywhere, and every wall has ears. You guys ready for the 5th mogul?
Yeah.
Or 4th, really. Her name is Katerin Stormsbane. She and her cabal, but she in the head, is a person that has been making airships for us since she was 10 years old. She is in her 90s now. She is likely looking to pass the torch, as it were, to her very lucrative business. Every airship you see has been made, if not by her, then by someone who was trained by her. Without her, we would not even have a fleet to stand against Maelstrom. It's getting complicated, isn't it, Rot?
Yeah. On one hand, I'm like, man, I would love to sabotage everything that person has. And on the other hand, I'm like, but I could also use the shit I know about Maelstrom to help her, which could really get us in there.
Remember, we need their airships to take over the Isles of Flavor.
Yeah, I know.
That's the whole reason why we're here.
Don't worry. I am distinctly aware of our objectives, considering what hangs in the balance.
He just has side quests.
I am hoping you guys are taking notes of these names.
I am.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stormsbane, the airship.
Are you ready for the next one?
Duh.
The next person is Lady Torvi Kilfala. If you need me to spell that, it's Torvi Kilfala. I can even post that in
there's
chat.
only one L in the kill part.
Say that again?
There's only one L in the kill part of Kilfala.
Yes.
It's like Kilimanjaro. Fun fact.
She was born in the Republic of Hyperia, a northern state that has been at war with the Empire for... I don't even know. I honestly don't know what their true history is. They barely interact with us. When they do, it's mostly for luxury goods. To my understanding, she hates the imperialists of Hyperia, the Emperor specifically. She has not vowed revenge on, but has made very public declarations of her hatred of him. Or at least the way he does things. That good old Valor Meza. Her main... What she brings to our city is skilled privateers, for the most part. Sailors on the open ocean, trade fleets, things like that. She must have been high birth, or at least high influence where she came from. She is more or less a merchant noble. This name is impossible to truly pronounce for this next person. So I'm gonna just type it in chat for you. We usually just call him Guy. He kind of responds to that.
Guy.
But his name pronounced is Gazeur de la Panche. Like that. He is known as the Speaker of Waves and Storms. He is a religious cult leader of the old ways before humans even settled Ugarast. We're not exactly sure who the fuck taught him the things that he learned, because his faith had died out a while ago, we thought. But I guess it, like, held, and now he's trying to resurface it. It's been picking up a lot of steam.
What did you say his thing was? It was something of the storm and waves?
Speaker of waves and storms.
Thank you.
Speaker of waves and storms. Okay, thank you.
I don't want to call him mad, because he is incredibly strategic. Many people now go to him looking for advice, and he is clearly magical. You will be able to see that when you see him.
Runt might actually be able to do some progress with this one.
I have a special attunement to some of the elemental forces in the world. It primarily focuses on storm and wind. And sometimes electricity.
He checks a mental notebook. I thought you were the child killer.
That is also correct.
The soldier strangler.
That is also correct.
The half-pint murder hobo.
That is also correct.
The next 3 or 4 things you are thinking are
the
probably
squeaky stealther.
Yeah.
That is also correct.
The elf fuck. Okay.
One doesn't get past closed doors.
Not sure about that one.
Technically, that is correct.
There we go.
Technically, I was the elf fucked. Not the fucker.
I'm sorry to hear that. He ignores her.
Never mind.
Alabaster is a chauvinist, but he's not a toxic manlet. So, he ignores this, says, "A gentleman never kisses and tells, Mr. Runt," and moves on to the next one. A guy he truly detests. His name is Richard Fontaine. He is our chief academic. He will argue non-stop and do nothing.
So you're saying he's a master debater?
He is a master debater and also our most intelligent man on the island. Anyone who has problems can get a logical and fairly direct response from him quite quickly.
He sounds like he could be one of the last people we convince then.
I will let you determine this.
Potentially very easy. The pendulum swings 2 ways.
If he values logic that much, if we get to the majority of people, he might be easier to.
Assuming he thinks those people are logical.
Yeah, exactly. It might be the opposite. Maybe we convince him first, and then we could tell other people that we convinced him. Yeah?
Anyway, we can talk about that later. We still have other...
There are 2 more. One is known as the first smuggler. We believe he is the first smuggler to be of the Smugglers Guild. I know, right? Quite a jump. His name is the Younger Carly. We say his. We assume it is a male. We have never once... They have never once made a declaration, and... I suppose it is a strange entity. Hard to find, but if you need something, it often shows up at your door, offering what you are seeking. will probably be the hardest to find, unless you are truly desperate for something. Lastly is Ariel Redmoon, a vampire who showed up recently? Not, well, within the past year. She has taken to the giant tree. Whatever we call it. Hang on, what's it called? The Gilded Glade, as it were. We assume she's some kind of exile from the continent, but...
Did you get a name for her?
Ariel Redmoon.
Okay.
Ariel, then Redmoon. She has been offering advice and teaching people how to dance and frolic, which is something a lot of our younger, more stupider citizens have taken particular interest of.
Above board, why does this sound familiar to me? Smile?
I'm not sure. Why does it?
I don't know, it just makes me think of Revik and Arabella.
Who?
Arabelle.
Who?
Another vampire. That's very.
Oh.
I have I'm saying this out of character, but I seem to have a lot of strange connections to all of these things so far. Not sure if it's coincidental.
It
Almost
might
like
be.
you're going to be the charisma of the party.
Everything is connected, as it is known in the Buddhist doctrine of faith. There are some factions you need to know now. One is, I jokingly call them the interlopers, but they are the Hypherian interlopers. They are more or less just Hypherians doing their deal and playing the political game too. I don't know if they're in it in the way that we are, or if they are just neutral people trying to make private deals with our fellow mogul targets. But Hypheria does have a stake in if the Archon stays in power or not.
So they're going to be doing what we're doing, but directly opposed to us.
Quite
or
possibly.
Going to be most likely.
Hypheria, notably, is in a similar situation as we are. Not that they don't have talented people. Just Meza and her apparent sister, Honor Meza, have made crazy, adventurous stories about themselves. I only wonder what sort of lapdogs the Emperor has on hand who could wrangle his family into obedience. Talent is everywhere in the world, as it is. The continent, Klovisa, just seems to have more. That is it for the moguls.
Any other factions besides the interlopers?
There is, of course, the Senate. That is the main political party. Our government, truly. A thing you must understand about the Archon's position is he is not a decreeing monarch. He cannot make laws, but he does have veto power within the Senate.
I believe we discussed this when we first heard of the mission.
Then I will cease my recap.
He does not have executive power, as it were, like the tyrant might have. However,
Do you
he does
know of the political factions in the Senate, though?
We do not.
Understood. Then why don't we go over those really fast? God, John made a wicked web.
Read your notes to give us notes.
Yes. The first faction, run by a man named Dougal Flanagan. I'm waiting. If you guys are taking notes, tell me when you're ready. The Sea Dogs are our main conservative party. They make the smallest faction of only taking 10% of our Senate seats. They are, not to say isolationists, but they never liked the idea that we were beholden to the Confederation. For a while, the country, have seen the benefits of joining together in open trade, even if that does bring us into conflict with Maelstrom. They are the guys who want to stop pretending that we care about the continent when we do care about the continent. It's strange. They're mostly old people.
If I could ask you a question then, about your history and the general, I'll say, the general consensus of the population, because obviously you'll have your outliers, but how do people feel about the Confederation here in Ugarest? Is that something that is typically supported, or is that something that people are mildly on, or is it something they are typically against?
When we joined the Confederation, I want to say 45 years ago, there were many detractors. Many of us wanted to unionize with the Hyperion Empire instead, and become a sort of vassal to them, or suzerain state that had its own independence, but joined them instead. There were many pros and cons to both sides, but eventually, son of a bitch!
Wasn't me this time.
Who was it?
It was,
Draco.
Hey,
I'll drink to that.
Draco, making us drink.
I'm finishing off the last of this Mike's Hard, everyone.
All 6 bottles?
Nice.
My Discord actively
The first one.
exploded.
SMH.
It happens to the
I drink
best
like
of us.
a quarter of this bottle of wine.
Yeah,
What
well, I
kind?
never drink, so.
Ah,
I'm
kind of wine
almost
you got?
done.
I don't know, some Pinot Grigio.
I don't know what
Habit.
those words mean, but I'm happy for you.
Let's continue. Here, have some more white wine, he says, pointing. Pouring some
I
bottles.
will, thank you.
The Sea Dogs are the remnants of the ones who did not want to join either faction. They were the smallest band then, and they remain the same. Their tenacity, though, is respectable, which is why we call them the Sea Dogs. Much like a sea lion or a arf 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 creature.
A seal.
Yeah, seal, thank you. Not the first seal, mind you.
Challenge
That's something else entirely.
He does the weird, like, I don't know anything. The nose knows. Their leader is named Dougal Flanagan. Out of anyone to... We're not truly trying to convince the Senate, right? We're trying to convince the Moguls who the Senate will align with. So keep that in mind when I'm talking about the Senate here. The next is a new and up-and-coming party that has just recently taken 20% of the Senate seats. They are called the Peace Committee. They are run by, or not run, but they have elevated one of their members to clear party leader, known as Thelon Cross. Thelon, Cross, spelt as you think it does. They wish to end the war with Maelstrom, and that is their only political goal. They do not care what it costs, so long as they end it, not even on favorable terms. Many of them are widowers, or people who have been widowed, or bereaved mothers whose children were lost in the fighting. Empathetically, they have begun to get more and more people on side. It's a almost historic moment that even 20% of our Senate can unify behind a peaceful solution to anything. I respect this woman greatly, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, if there's one thing we know, it's that the longer a war goes on, the more people get tired of it. Our experience with spirit beasts and why we have hunters is plain and simple with that.
If only it could be so easily solved with a foreign nation state. Next is the Skyhawk Party. You might have noticed one of those badges on Xander, who wears it with such pride, and we physically cannot tear it off of him because we cannot get to him. He's slightly raging
through the door again.
Oh yeah, he's. Did somebody say my name?
God, he's the Jerome of this continent.
Kinda, yeah. Just a lot weirder.
How is he weirder than Jerome?
Well, you're gonna hear some stories about Xander. Okay. The Skyhawk Party are warmongers and jingoists to a fault. The party is dedicated on getting revenge against Maelstrom for their damn near 80 years of slights and aggression. They have the most to gain by suicidally driving our country against Maelstrom. They hold 30% of the seats of the Senate. Which is, again, noticeable. I know you guys don't care about our politics since...
Oh no, I'm taking this all in because although we aren't looking to convince the Senate themselves, convincing part of the Senate could potentially be the key to winning over the mind of a mogul. So...
Maybe. But remember, the senators fall in line with the moguls. That's why we target the moguls, not the Senate.
I agree. I'm simply saying that it could potentially come in handy, or simply speaking with senators and knowing their alignments may be stepping stones to the Mughals.
I understand. Their leader is named Ex-Admiral Majorie Gelt. She is a famous admiral solely for the fact that she was able to tactically draw out a fight with King Maelstrom himself with his fleet. Her tactical brilliance is legendary, and she more or less has everything to gain by continuing to push the agenda. If she did not have her military record, then she would not have any sort of claim to fame.
What was the ex-admiral's name again?
Majorie Gelt. Marjorie, excuse me.
Oh, Marjorie. I thought it was like, is it Major E Gelt, or is it...
No,
like,
it's Marjorie.
one word?
Marjory, space Gelt. Just sounded out.
Okay, Marjorie.
Marjorie, yes, excuse me. I'm sorry. I've been drinking too much wine. The last party, which is the biggest of them all, is the Incorporus Party. They are an economic-focused gaggle of senators who aren't a true party, but there's enough mini-factions to sort of sweep them all under the same rug. They are more or less trying to maintain our economy. Ugarest is called the Gate to the West for a reason by your continent. Without us, there would be no transportation with the Hyperion Empire and Klovisa.
Oh, they must get along swimmingly with Sylvester Steele the 50th then.
They sure do. They are all semi-directly related to him, or connected to him, or in the pocket of, or paying homage to, or being made. Yes, indeed.
And that would mean that they have, let's see, 30,
40%.
They
yeah,
have
40.
40% of the Senate. They hold majority currently, and they have for quite some time. Only, well, the Skyhawks gave them quite the run for their money a few years ago, especially during the Cantalar incident.
And do they have a leader or whoever has the most
Yes.
money?
Her name is Daniela Vet, well, practitioner of the Stronghold. I'm not sure how I wish to say this. She is getting paid in more than just money by Sylvester.
You know,
Yes. She's somewhat respectable, but also despicable on the other side. I believe she had a high... There are rumors that she has vampires in her... how do you say this? Cabal? Family. It's weird. It's just weird. No one's exactly sure what Daniela Vet does. But she's in charge, that's what we know.
I assume it is out of the question to find Mr. Steele and Sharp and just, them.
Assassination has been heavily considered. In the past, it has... It is a tool that should be used the most sparingly. Because the moment a mogul dies, and it is connected on who gains from their death, everyone else will act in self-preservation. So if I hire an assassin to kill Sylvester Steele, then I will suffer the full consequence from all 8 remaining moguls. Also, if Sylvester Steele dies, we have another problem, which is his massive amount of wealth and all of his weird bastard offspring that are likely hidden throughout the world, having sudden claim to a fortune that not even God can go against.
he then would also incur the wrath of the Incorporus party.
Yes, just a casual everyone of our city is connected to them, whether they want to admit it or not. They are the political body that wants our economy to be strong, and it's hard to argue against that.
So basically what he's saying, Yuku, is that without a perfect, absolutely pitched to the T use of an assassination, which is next to nil in terms of chance, there should be almost no consideration for us to be using assassination. And if it was going to be that simple, I doubt they would have brought us here.
I just wanted to, throw it out there. I didn't think, honestly, I would rather not hurt anyone in the entirety of this mission. But if we get pushed to the wall, it is, I guess, not an option.
If we're lucky.
If we were going to assassinate everyone, or anyone, excuse me, it would be one of the more neutral moguls, where there would be ambiguity of who did it. If we could make a wicked web and truly frame someone for a murder, that would be the most beneficial. And guys, Gordon Alabaster, what have we thought of him so far? He seemed kind of cool, and now he's just like tactically describing how to murder somebody. Right?
I think he's pretty cool. That he's pretty smart, goal-oriented. He knows his shit, and he knows what happens if he fucks up, which is pretty important when you're trying to make big moves. So he respects him.
He is also the only mogul on the side we are on.
True.
He wants to stay alive. I can respect that.
He's all right.
That is
That
average.
was me.
Yeah.
That was a perfect delivery.
What about you now?
Yeah, no. If we are incredibly lucky, we can get away with convincing who we want to without any need of threatening or violence.
Well, it's as they
It's true.
say, speak softly and carry a big stick.
Yes.
So is
Hope-
it safe to
Hope for the best,
say?
prepare for the worst.
Is it safe to say that we are safe from potential assassinations as well?
No.
Or are we still under danger because we are an outside party?
You are an outside party. No one will make moves against you until they understand exactly what would happen if they did. You are backed currently by the War Master, who is not giving you exactly carte blanche to act. But the moment you leave here from these halls, you will be watched, not just by us, but by our
Everyone.
enemies. Many of you are noticeable. I think only you, Nav, could pass without scrutiny. So if we changed your outfit a little, gave you a
I
different hairstyle, then potentially we could even disguise your presence and blend you into our city.
I feel like if we could keep my ears hidden, then potentially, but
Your cheekbones are a dead giveaway. It's even... I don't know if you understand just how high your cheekbones are in comparison to a normal human, but even
I
without
do not.
the ears,
I do not.
I
What
understand.
about our mute child? He could pass himself off, no?
His feet are too big.
And
He-
too hairy.
Grew into them.
But you can't see my feet. They're in these fun little booties that I have.
They're still... Your proportions are awkward. A person studying you would be able to see something is wrong immediately if you blended in with, like, a gaggle of other children. Perhaps you could pass yourselves off, but then you'd have to...
I'll kill him.
Mhm.
Yeah, I wasn't. Trust me, I understand. That's not a thing that's going to happen.
Mr. Yugu, Mr. Mirth, you two are the clearest of the bunch that is definitely not human, aesthetic at least. You've got your 2 arms and your 2 legs, but let's be honest, it's not every day a human sprouts fangs and grows red scales or absurd body hair or twice an arm in one arm.
Actually, I was gonna ask. I know you do not have many demi-humans here, and some people.
We do,
are not
actually.
really-
More than
Oh.
we care to admit. It is
Well-
the sole reason that we are doing this.
I have to ask. Do you have them maybe pushed away in a separate quarter? Are they slaves? Anything
They're not
of the
slaves,
sort?
no. There are those that can pass as human, which many people turn their blind eye to. Many humans, I should say. And then there are the more wacky humanoids. Those ones face heavier discrimination, for sure. A thing that you all need to know is 100 years ago, this island was known to be human homogeneous. There were no demi-humans here at all. But within this 100-year time span, more and more have been naturally bred from the human population. Our scientists do not understand the reason why. Ozark claims it has something to do with the ley lines of the world. We are not magical scientists here. We are not wizards in Ugarest. But something to do with the more magic there is in the world, more magically dominant genes will appear in our populace. Ooh. Something got in my eye. I'm crying. The White Maiden, for instance, for the first 16 years of her life or so, we all thought was normal human. And then, on her sometime between 16 and 17, she started to display her demi-human traits. She was already well on her way to becoming War Master by then, and when she turned 30, recently, it has become more and more obvious of her genetic differences. The Archon tried to kill her in a roundabout way, sending her to the Cantillari debacle, the fireball, which rocked the world. This was to get rid of her and her supporters. Your tyrant inadvertently saved her, I suppose. Or stole her glory, as she calls it.
Okay.
When you meet her, I should warn you in advance. She's a prideful creature. And I don't mean that to be derogatory. At times she is possessive, at other times she is flippant and dismissive. She's very martially focused. So if you are physically strong or skilled with a blade, she will test you. It is part of her charm, I suppose, but it has also been the folly of other people to cross blades with her. Be wary around her specifically. She's popular in the military because she has brought victory, and she is skilled. But her personality is that of a warlord. Do not be fooled by her gender. For the love of God, Xander, quit it! You just see Xander, like, peeking in, just like, is somebody talking about the White Maiden, my waifu?
God.
Oh God, I hate him even more.
He's cringe.
he-
He's so cringy.
When he says
God,
don't
I can't believe I hate someone more than Jerome.
like when he says don't underestimate her because of her gender, he kind of looks over at Nav and he's like, "This reminds us of someone we knew, doesn't it? Someone who was against us instead of with us. A sort of blazing, almost scion, if you will."
Oh fuck yes! I get another chance at
War
that
Master.
bitch.
A
Yeah, it sounds
blazing
lot-
what?
Don't worry about it. We've, by the exact descriptions you have given us, we have dealt with someone who is just like that, although on the opposite ends of...
Do they grow
They were some-
feathers? Out of curiosity.
No, but they did grow fire.
Okay, well,
It's
you
hard
guys
to-
are dealing with
yeah.
some fuck shit.
Tiny bit.
I thought
Why'd
having
you
a
guys
bird
choose an
for a
angel?
daughter was weird, but alright.
No, they were able to make a pillar that was 60 feet high straight up and could envelop an entire building if it wanted to.
I don't know
That's been
anything
dealt with.
about that, but...
Anyway, my point is she had a very similar personality, so we are acquainted with such things.
Oh, that reminds me, actually. There were... human-passing demi-humans that entered our lands not too long ago. Maybe about a month or so back, during Winter's Waiting, when the moon took its vacation, as it's known. Also known as disappeared from the fucking sky, if you're an astrologist. But they had sun-related iconography etched on their skin. It was quite noticeable.
Oh
That-
god.
Probably. Yeah, we'll investigate that.
Why do you groan in this fashion?
They are purists, xenophobes,
Oh,
and
fuck.
yeah, they are known as the Blazing Star, and they are a blight on our continent.
That we have had personal dealings with.
Yes.
It's the
I see.
They are dealt with like any other group, but they are a militarized zealotry of clerics and paladins.
I shall have my spies refocus themselves then. I thought they were clowns or carnival people.
They certainly act like them, but I can assure you, they are far more harmful than they appear.
do not underestimate them.
Understood. I will take your
In
warnings to
their
heart.
home city, they were kidnapping demi-humans and burning them alive.
What the
That's-
fuck is
Yeah,
going
they are-
on over there? Where was
Oh,
this?
don't get me started.
We attempted to free that city in which that was happening, only for them to do some even more fucked up shit that I will not describe because we also have other things to focus on.
Okay. Well, I think I have gotten most of what I need to say out there to get you a better understanding of the situation. Currently, you all are in a, I don't want to say grace period, but you are going to be studied for the next few days before our enemies decide how they wish to respond, or finally understand why we brought you in. I would highly suggest using these days to get a lay of the land and acquaint yourself with the geography. Xander, although a skirt-chasing mongrel, Xander sticks his head in again, is competent enough to walk dangerous streets without being murdered in broad daylight. He knows his way around town. Also, he knows his way around town because he often gets teleported away from danger, which is everywhere in the city if you are Xander. He will make an excellent guide if you can keep a thug or pimp from murdering him or trying to teleport him into the ocean, which is currently how we deal with you. He says, Xander, like, I can swim now. I got a swim speed.
He's like above board. He's like that one Family Guy side character, like the greasy
greasy
deaf
old
guy.
man. Yeah, greasy deaf
Yeah.
guy, yeah.
Yeah. You can't catch me. I'm too slippery. Oh. It just comes to mind.
Yes. He went to Cancelar for 1 year, and suddenly he thinks he's the shit. Unbelievable. He just shakes his head. Anyway. He will be acting as your guide. Hopefully, his presence will distract the rest of the town from you. In 2 days' time, you will meet with the War Master, and the game will be afoot, as it were. Your enemies will know you. We will try to keep you informed of our enemies. We're on the same team now. I hope our partnership will be fruitful.
And
We will
this
do our
is
best.
an assumption I'm having. We can stay here at the embassy.
Yes,
right?
rooms have been prepared for you. We tried to get a decorator who knew Tolst architecture. I've been getting some side eyes from you this entire time, so I'm assuming they got some things wrong, but
You did an admirable job, and we thank you for it.
thank you. I funded it myself. I had nothing to do with the planning.
We are used to lesser functions for our living spaces, so anything that you have provided for us will be more than appreciated.
I understand. We have some time left in this session. He breaks character for a moment.
So hey, I keep thinking about this. Since y'all don't have a lot of magical people here, would you mind if I like use some magic to try and beat Xander into unconsciousness?
By all means, but from what I understand, the tyrant's bodyguard apparently tried to murder him at one point in Cantalar.
That
And
seems
not even
reasonable.
she could do it. And Xander tells me she could walk through time, so I'm not sure what that means either. But if she can't kill him when time has stopped, I can only imagine what you can do. I have heard tale of this spell known as Wish, to wish him out of existence. But Ozark refuses. I have offered him everything I own.
Yeah. You let it be known that you want it too much, so Ozark's just denying it for you.
You guys start to see Gordon tear up a little. Everything I own.
It's okay. Ozark's a wizard, and as we say in Klovisa, wizards are assholes.
Everyone stares
Sorry.
at Zane.
Everyone stares at Zane.
Gordon stares at Zane, following the lies. Xander makes mention he never took his eyes off Zane for a moment. Just to be annoying. Okay, so, John to players. This map is yours to write on. I'm not going to do what I do with most of my maps and explain the, I'm not going to write where things are. I'm going to trust you guys to do that. So, when I say you're going to the cathedral, there's enough imagery to tell you I mean over here, but if you wish to write something, by all means. I hope during your exploration phase, next time we meet, you will doodle on this map and not draw a bunch of dicks on it, which is what most of my players do when I give them a canvas. There are several locations. Each one is tied to a mogul in some way, shape, or form. If you were paying attention, you know where some of the moguls actually are. Yeah.
I see a whole ass arena.
Yeah. Any other things we want to talk to about with Gordon? We still have 12 minutes here left, but...
No, I think
I
I'm
can
good
think of.
until next time.
Okay.
I need to
Yeah,
think and reflect on the things that have been said.
True.
I'm starting to think about who we should try and convince first.
Yeah. I feel like the smoke guy. What was your name?
I want to talk to, personally,
Fontaine.
this is going to sound pretty obvious, but I actually want to talk to Vampire Lady, Storm
Yeah.
Guy, and I actually want to talk to the Peace Lady. The lady who has who's part of the
Ellen
Senate.
Cross?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Those are the three on my, like, if I had to choose one person to talk to first, those three are on my top list.
Should we try and find the younger Carly? He said it might be hard to find the smuggler. I know you've interacted with the Smugglers Guild a little bit in
I
Cantalar.
haven't
Not in Cantalar, in Tulsa.
in Tulsa. I do have a small thing based on the very last thing that John said about them, where you find them, but when you need something the most, they tend to appear. And there's one thing that I've really needed that I haven't been able to get my hands on since basically we went to Randy for the first time.
Acrobatics proficiency?
No, but that is a good guess.
Bring
a
to
good
that,
burn.
brother! Ooh.
That's a good shot. I'll give you that. No, it's cocaine. Because I left all of it in Tulsa.
We got him!
So I don't have any with me, but I'm gonna need some of it at some point. And so that's like, that Runt sees it as like a, wow, this just kind of turns out perfectly, because he's like secretly been like, oh fuck, shit, piss, ass, I forgot my goddamn super rocks at home, and now realizes that he needs them, and he has no way of getting them in this strange new world. Now there's this smugglers guild, which almost certainly deals with drugs, and also just magically appears whenever you need something really badly. So that
Like
will
drugs.
probably like drugs.
I want you to, again, focus on the word need.
Yes.
Really
Yes.
heavily.
He's been shaking. He's been shaking like he's been doing withdrawal.
Well, no, he's not there yet, but he's like, okay, I'm not gonna look for them or like try to find anything about them. But if I there needs to be, it's more of like a if I absolutely need drugs, there's someone
Why
I
does
can
Runt need
try.
drugs?
You're the one who gave me
Addiction.
addiction.
He's an addict.
You're
Yeah,
the one
he
who
is
told me
addicted.
I was addicted.
Are you
That
okay,
was
John?
kind of a joke.
You told me to write
John,
down
nothing is
that
ever a
you
joke
are
in this
addicted to
game.
cocaine and you know what it does.
That's
and I have
fair.
Had it written on my sheet because I take everything you say seriously.
I don't mean to gaslight you, but I may have gaslit you.
Okay.
It has never once come up in a serious situation before, and
I
we've
know,
never really talked
but-
about it.
It'll come up in a serious situation now.
Yeah, for real.
But this is why I'm bringing it up because I do audit
Oh.
my own character sheet.
I understand why Runt left the party now. It was to get his fix. He was
There's
desperate. He was jonesing before. Oh, where's Kushi? Just shaking.
But yeah,
My rock brother.
in terms of who I'm thinking we should go after, I'm thinking Gisur, the fucking storm guy,
hmm
Alan Bogar, the insane guy, the vehicle guy, and
Got a car.
potentially Linnell Sharp.
Those aren't bad options either.
I also
Sure, Linnell Schiller.
I kind of want to see. It might be
If-
too big, but if we can get the populace to not want to go with the Hyperions, that might be pretty good for us as well. Like,
Yeah, I think honestly our best bet when messing with Hyperion, excuse me, is not to edge people towards wanting to be with Klovisa and the Confederation, but
Mhm.
scooching them away from Hyperion, being like, Hyperion isn't all that great. Yeah, sure, they have all this stuff. And
Their
like,
princesses ran away, guys.
yeah. So like getting people to recognize that Hyperion isn't as great as the Archon makes them out to be is probably a more valid strategy than trying to win them over to why the Confederacy, which is now basically dissolved by most of its major parties, is a cool thing. So I think that that would be a legitimate route as well.
So maybe convincing Lady
Wait.
Torvi Kilfala that siding with the person that their Hyperion's princess ran away to might be a good
That
oh
could be
yeah,
a
they hate
potential
the
avenue.
Emperor as well. Because
Yeah.
he did say
Right?
he
Yeah,
does not
there
like
are
the
people
Empire.
who do straight up hate Hyperion and the Empire, which could be a good starting point. I think we should all have like a top 3, but for next time, and then see what
Yeah.
the War Master says, and then kind of narrow it down from there. Because
So
she
John-
might have great insight.
Wants to use this last minute of recording to give you some advice. Because essentially what you are doing is a 10 to 15 step puzzle that you only need to complete 5 puzzles of.
Yeah.
So if one puzzle seems too hard, and when I say puzzle, I mean people puzzles, the way you are going to get a mogul to side with you is by learning their motivation of why they do the things they do and manipulating that motivation. If you can't do that with one mogul, then you should probably move on to another if you wish to do this fast.
Like, I feel like Gisur is easily the easiest one we could convince.
Maybe.
I don't know.
We don't know enough right now.
Yeah,
we only know their absolute
From,
baseline.
from what we
ideal.
know, he seems like the easiest.
I would reserve your judgments for just a little longer.
I feel like Storm's Bane might be easier because we have a
Yeah, right.
Maelstrom in our party, whether he decides to be our in or not.
There are other characters in this wicked web that I have woven. Some will be in the military, which you'll meet next time if you get to meet the... if you get to meet the War Master, the White Maiden, is her two main monikers. No one really knows her real name either. Gordon will keep that as close to his chest as physically possible. But you guys have a lot of things you can do, but it's important not to get trapped on the things you can't do.
Yeah.
Moving quickly, finding people you can rely on will be your best bet. So if you think you understand a character, go for them quickly. Because there are opposition forces aligned against you, if that was not made clear already.
Couldn't be made more clear, Bob.
Cool. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me in this wonderful campaign. I can't wait to see the Discord light up with your own conjecture on what you want to do, or what you think you guys should do. Or, it'll go silent for another week until right before we play, and then you'll be like, guys, what are we doing?
What are we doing? Who do we talk to?
We do have a lot of new lore prepared, so when it's time to do experience, you will definitely be getting experience based on what you have discovered. So you're still technically the discovery team. But I will also be rewarding you on political actions, including convincing a mogul to ally you in the coming debacle.
The Great Schism.
Combat experience, especially against, regular soldiers, if this somehow happens, will probably be at several malice percentage points, if not at all. Because a level 8 fighting a quarter CR guard is not an encounter I'm even willing to consider.
Literally give us 2 rounds and we can incapacitate and knock them out without them even being able to hit us once.
Yeah, you have lightning
If they
bolts,
even
I
do.
understand. So, with all those things said, I'm going to wish everyone a happy night, unless you want to say something right now in the last 2 minutes.
Something in the last 2 minutes.
Master.
You're welcome, Orion.
Always being there for us.
It's true.
Hey everyone, did you know that if you have Twitch Prime, you have a free monthly subscription to twitch.tv/John the Dungeon Master that you probably haven't used yet?
Sure.
You should click that little button that says subscribe down on the bottom. If you do, you'll get fancy perks like John dabbing, job dabbing more often, and Toast Bucks, which are used to make, guess what, John dab. And also, if you get enough points, you can just straight up murder someone. Isn't that a fun idea?
You could
Subscribe today.
murder a player character or an NPC.
Can't wait to get into a really tense situation and then make us do a flashback.
True. I may lower the cost of flashbacks because I
can't
thought
wait for
they'd
us
be more
to-
disruptive, but
I
I
have
can't
enough
wait for us
flash-
to encounter the Archon and someone just does /kill.
Well,
problem solved! Woo!
murder does cost 10 million Toast Bucks. So,
Oof, true.
you know.
That's
You
at
can
least
just buy those, right?
session.
I think the average amount of Toast Bucks that most of the people who frequent watch are probably hovering around 20 to 30,000.
True. Oh,
Don't worry,
speaking
it'll
of
take
that,
us a few years to get to the Archon.
I can't wait to start implementing gambling. Guys, can mods do that for me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I may start modding people to run bets.
Run the gambling ring.
Run the gambling for me. So, Rumble Roar, not Eric, because he abuses me as a mod in a different Twitch channel. But one of you guys, for sure, maybe one of every team can have a mod, like Temer. Temer's here all the time. If Temer can't run gambling, then I don't know what it is.
No one can.
But I believe that is the only way we will actually get to murder somebody.
True. Because if we just like, do they convince a person and it's truly like we're completely unsure and it's like everyone thinks yes and then one person's like no and then they end up not doing it, they get like 5 times what they
Sure.
put in. So if someone puts in like 30K, they get like 150K. It's insane
Indeed.
the amount that you could make.
We'll have to be careful with the gambling because I don't want the players to rig themselves, which is what I do when I get asked to.
Yeah, I
I
think
can't even open Twitch without breaking this Discord.
It's
yeah,
fine.
I think if you do go ahead with it, the person who is making the bets should not be in the party of the currently playing party.
That's
so for
fair.
example,
True.
I could do like failure team, Timer could do any of the other 2 teams, things like that.
Oh. You guys, no, I don't want the players playing to be able to make a gamble on what's going to happen either.
That's what I'm
Oh.
saying. You
Yeah.
have one player from a different team who isn't currently playing that day be the person who makes the gamble, and also if you're, and it's like a gentleman's rule. If you're watching the stream and you're playing that day, you can't gamble because
That's fair.
don't be a fucking dick, bro.
Just ideas we're shooting out to get some more interaction. Does anyone else have anything they want to call out, shout out, say, confess?
Look at my ducky.
Oh
Aw.
my god.
Quack.
Oh, ducky.
You know what
Shout out
else
to
is
Eric
adorable?
for getting addicted to a mobile game.
Eric, did
This-
you get
this-
addicted to a mobile game?
It's Gibby's fault.
Are you playing
is
Raid
my fault.
Shadow Legends?
Addicted.
No, I got him addicted to
Addicted
a
is a strong.
hot furry.
I am playing.
What?
Eric is now addicted to a hot furry game.
Oh, whoa.
Not furry.
I
Entirely.
mean, their main character is literally Anubis in a suit, and he looks fucking baller.
It's fucking great.
Alright, well. Have fun doing whatever it is you do,
Dad, don't be disappointed in me.
wherever you find yourself in this wicked world we wander
please
through.
no.
Now he sees you like everyone else sees Xander.
Son, you cringe.
It's Gibby's fault.
Gibby, you double cringe. Guys,
I'm always cringe.
as always,
Nothing
don't die. Peace out.
Oh, I got the fucking
Bye.
hiccups now.
new.